Hey Skyfarers, and welcome to Aethercast, the Kharadron Overlords channel and podcast, where today we're talking about all the possibilities for a new KO book. It'll be fun and exciting, hopefully. Joining me, as always, is our gunnery sergeant and thunderer from down under, Mr. Alexander Krohn.
I'm excited. Yeah, let's talk some new stuff. The the reveals a couple days ago gave me given me some hope. So let's hope we get some stuff soon.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. But before we do, we have some news. First bit of news: Krohn recently went 5-0 at tournament.
I mean, I did. Oh, actually, no, I didn't go 5-0. I went 5-1 because this was a 6-round tournament.
Yeah, you do things
which was pretty
over
cool. We're trying to have a 1 6-rounder in the country. Just this is the first time we ran it, so only about 26 people rocked up, but it was still a really good event. Ended up with 160, 151, and then a bunch of 4-2s.
Okay. So you got second
but
then.
yeah, I went 5-1, but I didn't do it with KO. I took a lovely, fun Tzeentch summoning list, which spent an hour doing a hero phase, and then the rest of the turn was like 5 minutes. But was able to summon 10 pinks on average, which people loved. You know, to get a double turn, I summoned 500 points worth of stuff. No, it was actually pretty fun though. We had a lot of Soul Blight at that event, and Doc. I don't think I fought any of the Soul Blight, but I got both of the Doc players. One of which I beat, one of which I lost, and he ended up taking out the whole event.
It looks like Coffee Frog is wondering why you weren't playing KO.
Because this was more of a local event. It's a small local event. I wasn't trying to. I wanted to play an army that I was going to be able to play 6 full games with over the course of the day. And KO ends the game pretty quickly. Usually.
Especially with the sort of list you have been playing recently.
Yeah. I'm currently playing KO at a Warhammer tabletop simulator event. And doing pretty good in that. We've only played 2 games so far because it's like 1 game per week, so it's a very long, drawn out tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But for this event, like I wasn't really going to specifically win or like I didn't feel like I needed K. I was just taking basically a fun Tzeentch list that I thought up and just summon 10 pinks. Don't know what it does after that, but it summons 10 pinks. Done.
It's fair enough. It's fair enough. You can't have ice cream all the time. Sometimes you've got to have your vegetables, or I don't know, or vice versa.
Yeah, it makes the times when you eat your KO that much more special.
Okay. And actually, Coffee Frog was actually just wondering why we were late, which is just because that's what we do.
Are we late?
We were late, and we were about a couple of minutes late. I mean, by our standards, we weren't that late. We've been a lot later than that before. Other news: Six Nations, KO Six Nations, not Rugby Six Nations, proper Six Nations. Did I say KO Six Nations? I meant Warhammer Six Nations. I don't know what I was saying.
It is the KO Six Nations.
Yes, it is the KO Six Nations.
5 of the 6 teams have KO.
Yeah.
Why do you? So, why do you think that is?
Well, if you, in related news, if you've seen the recent MetaWatch article, we are at 54% win rate. We're at, we're one of the top armies, sort of. We're not overperforming, but
I
Or a
think
good army.
KO are very good in a team's environment.
Mhm.
Because look, in a singles, like KO will have some good matchups and some bad matchups. But
Mhm.
when KO has a good matchup against something, it's usually a very good matchup. If you play KO against certain factions, certain builds, it's almost an automatic like table wipe, 20-0.
Mhm.
So in a team's environment where you can somewhat pick your matchups, that KO, if you get it right, the KO army will just end that game and
Mhm.
give that team a 20-0.
Yeah, and we play well into some other good lists that you might see at teams events, such as Daughters of Cain.
Yeah, KO are just fantastic in the Daughters of Cain. Anything with a low-ish armor save, they will just
Mhm.
shoot through. Giants are now.
Yeah,
What else?
it's interesting.
I want to say ogres, but they've got a lot of wounds.
Mm.
I've only played one game against ogres, and I didn't actually win. So maybe not ogres. I don't know.
But no, it's good to see Kara doing well, and Dave Kane, that we've had on the show quite a long time ago, actually, doing very well with Barack Urbaz. Well, so doing well so far, anyway. It's
Ooh.
obviously day one, I'm assuming.
Um.
But Barack Urbaz, how about that?
Yeah.
A little bit different. So maybe
With
we
Urbaz,
will talk about maybe we'll talk
I
about
mean,
the Six Nations lists on another show at some point.
we'll
If
probably
you want
have
us to do
to.
that, if you want us to do that, comment or let us know in the chat. Other
Carl
news?
Ong. Carl Ong actually, I think went 4-1 in a tournament recently. We've had
Mm-hmm.
Carl on before.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me try
With
and.
Go Trek.
Yeah, he had a Gotrek list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One ironclad Gotrek. Let me see if I
Um,
can find it. It was on Goonhammer somewhere.
it was in the Aethercast Facebook chat as well.
Right.
You might have to scroll up it because Max asked him for the list. But Carl obviously used to like the Incarnate, and the Incarnate went up. It's basically there's only 5 points difference between that and Go Trek now.
Yeah, is
Slightly
the
different.
Incarnate better than is the Gotrek really better than the Incarnate?
Well, there's pros and cons, isn't there? One's faster than the other. One's more killy. So
Yeah. You can retreat from Gotrek and
Go Trek gets to fight twice.
whatever Gotrek touches, I guess he destroys.
Yeah. So you can potentially go in and like kill one unit, then pile in onto another and stuff. There's pros and cons, but
Yeah,
it's cool to see people doing well with some slightly different lists and trying new things.
He won a
Very
Dub
cool.
Boys GT. That was it. That's what it was called.
Did you say he won the GT?
Oh no, sorry. He came third at Dub Boys GT.
Again, I didn't think he won.
No.
But still, 4-1, very good result. Well done to
Yeah.
him. So yeah, maybe we'll talk about that list as well on another show. We'll do a list show probably. That might be cool. Okay, last other bit of news, unless you've got anything else, Con. There's some cool new Go Trek books coming.
Ooh, those are fancy.
They look fancy. They are a limited edition though, so they are probably going to be expensive, but they do look very nice. So
right, yeah. I mean, the cover looks. Are they new books or are they old books that have been rebound?
Are old books. So there's a collection of 3. There's I can't remember what they all are: Ghoul Slayer, Git Slayer, and another one.
Okay. The the new Age of Sigmar.
It's something Slayer, Soul Slayer. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you haven't got, I haven't got any of those books. I keep meaning to get the Go Trip books. So this is a nice way of getting them. I have sent the link to my wife. Said this looks nice, as a little hint for Christmas. But obviously, if it's really expensive, I don't want to spend a fortune on 3 books. But if it's affordable, that would be nice. So yeah, nice dwarfy goodness. Cool. There's no other news, is there?
I guess just the reveals.
Yeah, which is sort of heading on to the why we're doing the show. Because there was a load of reveals
is
for
exciting.
non-dwarfiness, Gloomfight Gits and Beast of Chaos getting a new book, Slaves of Darkness and stuff. But we don't care about any of that because there's no dwarfs.
5 books in 1 month, in one quarter, I guess. Spring.
Yeah.
So that's autumn over here.
Oh, I never thought about that. Yeah, when they say, "Oh, it's coming in spring," it's not for you.
March, April, May. That's autumn. So we got 1 order, 2 death, 2 chaos.
Yeah, and then another order book in the summer.
Yeah, so I'm assuming at that rate, at 5 books per quarter, that none of those are going to be big new books like Chaos Dwarves or
no, they're going to be
Shadow Elves or anything,
or updates.
So this is all updating what we've got already. So Chaos has to be Khorne and Slaanesh. Death could be, I mean, it could be Soulblight, but I'm guessing it's going to be
FEC
and OBR.
And OBR, yeah, that's the other one. So Order of Death, we've got the same issue here, where there's 3 armies that have got a good chance of getting a new book, but only 2 books coming. Because for Order, there's KO, there's Seraphon, and then Cities of Sigmar.
Cities. So the question is that book all by itself over there, is that a Cities book? Or is this a bit too early? Because they've only been showing us CAD designs so far.
Well, Vince made a good point in Warhammer Weekly, which is a great show. You should check it out, as always. But he made a good point is what the marketing team shows you doesn't mean that that's what the design team was working on last week. They could have, they could be showing us stuff that they worked on 2 years ago. There's no necessary time correlation there. So there's like a 60. What's this? How does this work out? Like a 1 in 3 chance? I don't know if this matters.
1 in 3 chance. So you've got 33%. That's not so. It's a 66% chance that we're coming out this year. I think I don't think there'll be a whole lot
in these books because I don't think there'll only be 1 book in summer. I don't think they're showing all of summer.
There might be because this year is going to be this year the 2023 year is going to be 40k 10th edition, going by Games Workshop's usual timeline of new edition specialist game, new edition specialist game. So so I think we're going to hit this, and then it's going to be 40k all year for the rest of the year.
Okay.
They've just updated all their codexes, I think. So, yeah, so someone's going to get left behind at the end of at the end of this, and might have to wait till the end of the year / next year to actually get an update. I don't know. It could be Cities still. Could be.
Well, but the weird thing about Cities is that this whole edition is meant to be about the Dawnbringer Crusades, and we've not seen anything about it.
And
so,
by the looks of it, they might be the last book.
It's weird how they launched the edition with like the terrain for it, but then the actual armies to go alongside the terrain aren't there. I know there's COVID all the issues and stuff. So,
but to be the last book in the edition, or probably second to last book, that hurts.
Okay. But I don't think it's going to be the case. Even with a new 40k edition, I don't think that's the case. That we have all these books in the spring, and then 1 book at the start of summer, and then there's nothing for the end of the year until 2024 for Age of Sigmar. That won't happen. So I think, regardless of whether we're one of these 2 books, there will probably be a book for KO next year.
I'd probably prefer it to be the book in the summer because maybe that means that we're not in a double box with someone. And I think I would definitely like KO to not have a double box and just have their updated model be a character.
Yeah.
We don't need more characters. We
We don't
currently
need
have
another.
as many characters as we have units. So we get one more character. We're in the Fire Slayers territory of having more characters than actual
Yeah.
like unit entries.
We did see a book, not a book, sorry, a double like FOMO box, a duo box. We had one where there was a unit in it before. There was also a new hero, but there was also a new unit. So
Sylvaneth have
I
gotten
mean, we
that.
could get that. So that's an interesting thing. There's obviously 5 books in spring, so they can't all be double boxes either.
No, someone's gonna get a someone's not gonna get a box. So I mean, I'm still thinking. So Korn and OBR, that makes sense to be to be together.
The other thing is, like the books they've just announced, they haven't said there's boxes for them. There is a new Beast of Chaos hero, so maybe, but
no,
and they're all coming out at roughly the same time. So I have heard rumors that they are stopping the FOMO boxes with the heroes in because of the negativity around them of people saying, "Oh, it's the only way to get the hero" and stuff. So I don't know whether that's true, but I also want to mention, obviously.
Yeah.
So what were you going to say?
Oh, I always thought I always kind of appreciate the FOMO boxes just because they're like they're good to go halves on with friends or something. People starting new armies, you go, the 2 people buy the same box, and that if 2 people buy the same box, it's pretty affordable.
Yeah, they're also a good way of getting into the army.
Yeah, gives you a new you take the FOMO box and start collecting, and that's pretty much that's a really good starting point for like 1,000-point army at that point.
Yeah, without having to buy loads of individual units and stuff. So
yeah,
the thing I wanted to mention was obviously in the past on Aethercast at different points we have talked about a combined Dwarden book, and I think it's safe to say that's probably not happening anytime soon. The hints around it are still all there in the lore, but I think they've knocked that on the head, probably partially due to all the production issues they had over COVID.
I mean, I guess once Fire Slayers got their book, that made it okay. Well, once Fire Slayers got their book, we're not gonna have a combo dwarf box.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
it might still happen at some point.
Could happen, yeah. 4th edition.
Maybe that's like a 4th edition thing or something. Obviously, like Grungy's still around trying to unite the dwarfs. There's even a new, the collection of short stories had like a novella in it where, spoiler alert for anyone that doesn't want spoilers. Apparently, there's like a city with all the dwarfs living in it, like KO and Fire Slayers and stuff, all in the same city.
So, like a Cities of Sigmar city.
Yeah, but like a Cities of Dwarfs. I don't think there's humans and stuff there. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't actually read it yet. So, but obviously it's not happening soon. So we won't be talking about that tonight. We'll start speculating in a minute. Obviously, there's a few people watching live in the chat. We do want to get you involved. So if you've got ideas for the new book you want to talk about, put them in the chat. Or if you're watching this in the future, then leave some comments on the video on YouTube. But we have got topics we're gonna try and stick to ish, because if you all start talking about loads of different things in the chat, it could just become a little bit unwieldy. So try and comment about the things we're talking about. Yeah, well, there'll be big words on screen. Talk about that stuff in the chat. And obviously we can circle back to things and stuff if you suddenly think of something that you didn't think about when we were talking about that subject. But try not to have one person asking us about battle tactics, another person talking about Skyports, and then someone else is talking about points, and then we're trying to talk about Warscrolls, and it's just going to be all over the place. Cool. So, first things first, garrisoning. Because I think this is the most important thing. I'm going to stress, it's completely
remove it or something.
I don't know if they're going to move it, but just generally, not just garrisoning, troop transport in general is the most important thing for KO, and how
That's
it
like
works, isn't
our
it?
thing. We are
Yes,
the army
that's what
that
sets us
has the
aside.
transports.
Yes, and obviously how it works in this book that we currently have is different to how it worked in the first book. So
Yeah.
the question is, are we going to get changes? What do you?
I think it's. I feel like it would stay mostly the same. Just with much better wording. From the
Yeah,
outset, hopefully. Um,
hopefully.
written in the book in such a way that does not require 3 consecutive erratas and FAQs to actually work in a game sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely
I don't
want
think there's
it to
going to be
be
major changes.
clear cut how it works. I think the only thing we might see a change on with this is moving after you get out of a boat. I was very surprised with that being in the FAQ
Could
that we
be
did
because
get.
it feels very janky.
Yeah,
Feels very janky
and
to
it's
have like a unit of Arcanauts throw themselves 16 inches out of a boat.
yeah, yeah, it's a bit crazy. So I think that might change. Obviously, in the first KO book, you couldn't shoot from boats. I would like that not to be the case in the new book. I would like to be able to still shoot and do stuff while we're in the boats.
But I think
There's
not counting for objectives is also probably going to stay because that's a important weakness of the army is that KO is not good at objectives.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
it needs a weakness because its strengths are very strong.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think the trouble is when you got people say, "Oh, like, well, does it really matter if an ironclad counts as all these models on a boat because on an objective because Sons of Behemoth do that, but you can't teleport a giant and just teleport it and get 1 millimeter of it onto an objective and then be like, right, that's mine now. You have to move it normally. So you've got a model that teleports, and then all of a sudden that's 30 models on an objective. That makes a big difference.
Teleport in the hero phase, yeah, and then you stack your 6 heroes in the boat, and then have 5 heroes and 20 guys. That's 32 models on the objective, and suddenly you're outscoring Kragnos, and that's when you got a problem.
Yeah, and you might be like you're only literally 1 millimeter. You're literally exactly 6 inches from the objective. Like you're not even sitting on it. I think maybe for this something that could work is you don't count for the objective if you're more than 3 inches from it. So you've got to be sort of quite close to the objective for the models in the boat to count. That could be a nice center ground.
It could, but it's just going to make the power of Zilfin go up even further because that hero phase move is just going to get you everywhere.
Maybe because Zilfin is also already quite good because that hero phase move means you can get guys out of the boat onto an objective. So Zilfin is already the choice for getting models onto an objective, isn't it?
Yeah, Zilfin is just the choice, really.
Mm-hmm. What about all the abilities that say you can't do this in a garrison? Would you like to see them all just go away?
I would like to. I would like to because it'd be cool if your admiral could do like your chemist knew how to function on a boat. That's kind of the whole lore is they spend their whole lives like on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
So why are they suddenly worse? But realistically, I think it's gonna stay. Third edition books so far haven't really. They're not like big buff pieces for an army. The army changes a little, like shifts slightly.
There's a lot of
But
it's the old book with some tweaks rather than
yeah,
a complete reimagination.
the power stays roughly the same. So I don't think we're gonna see a whole lot of like, oh, we just got like this massive thing, and suddenly we're the top tier like meta smashing army. I think they're gonna play it safe. Especially KO are very hard to balance anyway, because
we
there's
teleport and shoot. So
it's
it's very difficult
100%
to balance.
shooting army, and shooting is
Mhm.
very non-interactive for the other person. And
Mhm.
if you dial that up even a little bit too high, suddenly KO are just instantly winning every game they play.
Yeah, you don't want it to be that KO gets a double turn. It's like your whole army's gone.
Yeah,
because it's no
you're
good.
playing 40k, like old 40k, but without any of the checks and balances they've added now, with no teleporting and turn 1 and cover and whatever 40k does. And even then, like, you see the win rates for those armies, they're 80%, 70%. It's ridiculous. We don't want that for KO.
There was something else I was going to say about garrisoning. I can't remember what it was. Oh, it bugged me. We haven't mentioned hitching, which is kind of related with troop transport. I assume it's going to stay.
Yeah, stay like it is.
Why
It's probably more balanced the way we've got it now than it was the way before, where you could put infinite balloon boys inside a boat.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That they just don't take up space in the boat is silly. I'm quite happy with the way hitching works. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't really see anything you'd want to change. Maybe say, maybe let the Ironclad take 10 rather than just 7. So you could have a reinforced unit of like a double like if you had like an Endor Master and 2 triple suits in general. I don't know. But
a double reinforced unit of that'd be so nice.
The Ironclad is already really good. I don't know if it necessarily gets that. I still can't remember this thing.
Do we have something about Warscrolls?
Yeah, we will get to Warscrolls. Don't worry.
We do.
Are you thinking about the frigate though? Yeah. Were you going to mention the frigate? Is that why?
Look, I mean, other people seem to be doing really well with the frigate. Jeremy Vesine has that the famous 5-boat list at the moment, which is doing so well.
Other people have tried it and it works for them as well.
So something must be going with frigates. Maybe it's just me. Maybe frigates just aren't my thing. I don't like them. We'll talk about Warscrolls later.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be nice from a garrisoning perspective if frigates could have a hero and a unit inside. Wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. Without cutting down, having a minimum sized unit, like a 9-man Archanaut or 9-man Thunderer.
I still can't remember the thing I was going to say about garrisoning. It's going to really annoy me now.
At least give the frigate, the option to take similar artifacts to the Ironclad. So give it a buoyancy aid so it can take 15 people in it, maybe. That one frigate that you want 15 people on.
A buoyancy aid for the frigate,
yeah, and not have the frigate boat effects be useless.
Yeah, that would be cool. An extra engine work for the frigate. I think we'll move on. If I remember the thing I was going to say about garrisoning, then I'll circle back.
Aether Gold.
Because it's very important in this book. As in, it's like our own, other than the sub factions, it's our only real allegiance ability. I think it's probably going to stay.
So that's based on it. I think it probably will. They've made previous books have had pretty complex complex allegiance abilities, like battle traits, I guess. So I think we're not gonna lose our battle traits. We might actually gain a command point, like a faction specific command point and a command ability or command trait.
Yeah.
So I think Aether Gold will stay, and it's not Aether Gold isn't like a super problematic ability either.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it should stay that we use the triumphs that are in the core rules /THP? So potentially they change for us.
Yeah, that's always been weird that we
They
kind
used to be
of
the other core rules.
the whole book changes like depending on what the current GHB triumphs are. Like I remember at one point there was 6 triumphs, and you could use command abilities for free, and you could what was
reroll
it?
saves and
Rerolls.
reroll hits and
Yeah, and then they got rid of the half of them and just had the reroll hits, wounds, and saves, and now we've got +1 to wound, auto run 6. Yeah.
there's quite a few people in the chat saying they want more unique uses for triumphs. So I think that would be cool.
I do hope we keep the Bellacore triumphs and that they give us more for the book. So
I'd like to see one for the Grunstock keyword and maybe one for the Archanaut keyword, because the Archanaut keyword would work for ironclads and frigates as well,
and frigates
and the Admiral. Archanaut would work for Archanaut Company, the Admiral, and then with Grunstocks, and then you've got if you let Endrin riggers use the Endrin Master Guild triumphs as well. So
yeah.
The only thing left over then would be Sky Wardens.
Yeah, I don't know. You could like, and the gunstock triumph could be like a offensive triumph, and the Archanaut triumph would be more of a defensive hold objectives kind of triumph.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look after the ship.
I can see that working.
Do you think there's a concern with us having loads of unique triumphs that there's a lot for an opponent to know we could potentially do? Whereas if you're mostly using the ones from the core rules, everyone knows what the core rules triumphs are.
Yeah.
And you go, I'm going to use the triumph for +1 to wounds. They're like, oh yeah, okay. You say, I'm going to use the triumph to blow up the magazine in the ship. They're like, what? What's that?
It could lead to some gotcha moments.
Is it
if you have too many? But the other armies have lots of unique stuff that only they can do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't want to be just like totally tied into just the core rules. Like how many ghosts? I guess as Nighthaunt, they charge you, and then suddenly you neg 1 strength, or you neg 1 hit, or you've got neg 1 armor save, or you're hitting last, or all these kind of things can happen.
But there's like a limited number of them. Whereas if you've got, say, 3 different triumphs for Grunstock, 3 different triumphs for Archonauts, 3 different triumphs for Navigators, 3 different ones for Endrin Masters, 3 different ones for Chemists, it starts adding up.
There might be just one per thing, like one chemist, one special chemist triumph, one special navigator triumph, one special Archanaut triumph, that so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, because there are, like, let's be honest, like the navigator ones is one you mostly it's just the one that's used. I don't think really the chemist one. There's one that you want. Well, I mean, one of them does 2 different things, but like, I mean,
I use the chemist one occasionally. It's just like start of the game, first hero phase. Give one of my thunder units reroll 1s to wound in the boat. Then teleport the boat forward, get the thunderers out, and now they've got reroll 1s to wound.
Yeah, Alexander Hernando makes a good point, which it doesn't matter if we have loads because only a handful will be good. So
there'll be the one that you take, and then other ones that exist because they like to write stuff in their books.
Yes. I mean, because it feels like, well, also there's things like, well, if you're doing these things for this hero, you've got to do ones for this hero, and we're doing 2 for the navigator, which means we've got to do 2 for the chemist as well. That sort of thing. That just happens with pagination, and that, like, unfortunately. Here's the thing about Aether Gold. Do you think it should keep the -1 bravery thing?
Yes, because that's a weakness. So that's good. But
Is it a
also,
used?
how often do people actually remember that? Does
No,
people remember
exactly.
the 9
Because
rules?
it's so much. Yeah, I think a lot of people probably forget. It's like
I
it's one to
I
see
don't
if
I
it
don't
needs to be there. It's not a massive
I don't
like
want to
issue.
forget, because that's robbing. That's actually,
Just cheating.
negatively affecting your opponent. But also, it's just a little thing that I just keep don't remember.
It's just a thing to track.
Yeah,
I don't know. And then yeah, it kind of makes sense. Like, well, they're not getting their profits anymore, so they're -1 bravery. Then they're going to be less brave to do stuff, but more likely to run away from the watch. It does kind of make sense, but I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
It's a
I,
little disincentive, I guess. But yeah,
mhm. I would like to see some way to move Aether Gold around and to give it to other units or to generate it in game potentially.
yeah. I mean, our characters generated at the moment. But I guess if you had the way for the units to generate it.
Well, the characters, the only way they can generate it is with a command trait.
Yeah, so you give them the one. Oh, the admiral can like kill something and give a gold to someone.
Oh, the with an artifact. Yeah, I was thinking more like a like. Say you mentioned about with our battle traits getting a command ability. Maybe if we had a command ability to say, right, oh well, this unit you get an extra gold.
Or this unit
Um,
can flip its gold back over, so it can turn it from spent to unspent.
yeah, so you can't just have two gold, or like you can give a unit take gold from one unit and give it to another unit, or like the hero can give his gold to a unit, maybe. So you're not just
Yeah.
getting extra gold, but it would be interesting.
But that's like it is similar to Lumineth's Ether Quartz, and
Yeah,
they didn't get anything like that. Lumineth, I don't think there's much. Are there? Doesn't one of their sub factions interact with Ether Quartz? They can use 2 of them or something.
yeah, they did like the Urbaz thing, but better, didn't they?
Yeah, so I'm thinking it'll be something similar to what we see there.
Yeah. Um,
KO haven't gotten a book since Lumineth got a book, like existed, did we?
no, we were
So in
just
the
before
time that it's
them.
taken us, so we got a book, then Lumineth got 4 books. Now we're finally
They
getting our
got lost.
second book.
We've lost count of how many Lumina books have been. Um,
Wow.
but let's,
KO just watching Lumineth just.
yeah. I mean, everyone feels like that with Lumina. But let's. What about ideas for triumphs? What things would you like to see? I mean, it depends on Warscrolls a little bit, but like
I
we've
mean,
got
yeah. So
the
like, I'd say the Arcanaut one would be more of a like defensive, hold objective. So use this triumph, and the unit is worth like
2 models on the objective.
2 models.
Yeah, or double the number of models they currently are. So if they're an expert
Yeah.
conquest, they become 6 or something, or like +1. So
Yeah,
it's just
expert
6.
conquerors won't be a thing.
Yeah,
Well, expert
probably won't
conquerors
be.
won't be a thing.
No.
But yeah, the boats will count as 4 now, and each individual Arcanaut will count as 2 if you use that triumph, and they can just hold that objective. But then again, the triumphs are all like phase specific, so they
Yeah,
don't
normally.
really exist beyond a phase. So I don't know how you do that.
Yeah. Alexander Hernandez says one for run and shoot. That would be pretty cool. A run and shoot
Yeah,
one. Good for
that I
Arcanaut.
feel would be more of a thunderer kind of thing, like a Gunstock thing. Gunstock is all about the offense, and
Mm-hmm.
the Arcanaut is the defense. They're the shield, and then
Mm-hmm.
Gunstock come in as the hammer.
Although in some ways, yeah, the Grundstock are like, oh yeah, well, we get extra attacks when we're in combat, so and when you charge us, we're going to unleash hell with loads of attacks. So, like a retreat and shoot one would be cool.
I mean, or just a +1 save triumph for Arcanaut stuff. That would be kind of good. Especially because you use the +1 save triumph, then you stack all out defense on it, and suddenly that Arcanaut Ironclad is not going anywhere.
Yeah. I think for wardens or riggers or both, a retreat and charge one could be cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
So you'd have to use that in the charge phase. If you have made a retreat move this turn, you can be elected to charge or something like that.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, hit the gold and then that'd be good. No. What
Yeah.
else cool? Something
Plus
for
one save
boats.
for the Arcanauts. I like that. I like that now. That's
Yeah.
that's wish listing. Not what I think's gonna happen, but that's wish listing.
Yeah. For boats in general, like a ramming one. So you use it in the charge phase. If you spend your Aether Gold, then you basically you just go hell for leather when you charge, and you don't worry about what's going to happen. You do D3. You do some mortal wounds to the unit you charge.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Now we have artifact.
Alexander says shoot in combat, which I guess it means shoot in the combat phase. That would be very cool, especially for thunderers.
Oh yeah, instead of using your combat attacks, you can use your gun attacks.
Yeah, in the combat phase. If you could do that in the enemy combat phase, that'd be so cool.
Ooh. They charge you, and suddenly Thunderers beat up a unit of Gorgrunters in combat because they just shot all their cannons at them, and the Gorgrunters died.
Yeah, just imagine you just unleash hell, and then you just get it, and then straight away, then in the combat phase, you're going to be like, right, I'm going to shoot you again.
That might be a bit too powerful. That might be a bit too powerful.
Yeah. Well, it would be very fun, though.
It would.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Definitely on the wish listing side there.
Yeah, probably.
Would be good.
Yeah. Don't know if I can think of anything else very cool. No?
No?
Can we move on?
Yeah.
Cool. Skyports.
The bigger stuff. Skyports. So, I mean...
We're not going to invent any new ones.
No. So we have 6. We have...
6 and a half. 6, 7,
we know what they've been doing with sub-factions in 3rd edition so far.
Slimming them down a bit, really.
Yeah, so no more artifacts, required artifacts and command traits.
That means no more fuck you stuff, doesn't it?
No. That might disappear forever. Or it might become a generic artifact, but it might disappear forever.
So good. You just have it in any Skyport.
Because I know there was some really good artifacts in previous books, like in Tzeentch there was an artifact that just auto-summoned 6 demons that everyone loved, and then that just disappeared. Didn't become a generic artifact, it just vanished.
And we've had that before, like we lost the Earbuster from the first book, and
I love the Earbuster. The chemist one that made you take like 2 bravery checks, that was fantastic. Yeah.
And you couldn't get around it with Inspiring Presence either.
Yeah. Oh, that might be a new artifact that comes out, like, because every other faction has like you can't take Inspiring Presence or Rally within 6 inches or 9 inches of this general. Then that's a Earbuster artifact. An enemy can't take Inspiring Presence near within range of the chemist. That'd be cool. Right, back to Skyports.
Yeah.
So they slim them down, but they usually keep the main thing from them.
Yeah. So I think we'll keep the code part. Saturine in the chat is saying that he thinks we'll lose those. We'll come to Sato you pick from pre-game.
I mean, the question is Zilfin going to... Because Zilfin is pretty overrepresented, and I'm pretty sure they know that.
I think we'll keep the article amendment and footnote. I think that's flavorful, and we like it. And then they get rid of any command traits and artifacts, and it's just 3 things, so they can have 3 Skyports per page, and it will fit nice and easy. Zilfin.
Is Zilfin going to keep the hero phase move? Because I don't know if they will.
They've done it in 2 books now.
And so the first book wasn't a hero phase move. The first book was you could teleport. You could keep a Zilfin boat in reserve, and it came down.
No, they did have the hero phase move in the first book. You're thinking of it was an Endron work thing, but it wasn't an Endron work. What was it?
No,
But there was definitely a thing where you went in reserve and then you come down onto the table, didn't you?
Yeah, that was a thing. I thought that was a Zilfin only thing.
I think we
Like
just
that was the Zilfin hero phase move. Was instead like you came down.
you deployed in the sky. Was it just Sylvan? I thought they had the hero. I
and you
don't
could
know.
only do it with one boat.
Yeah, you could definitely do it with one. Oh, I don't know. We had this book so long that I can't remember the old book. There was
I don't have
definitely
the
a
old book
thing
with me
with
right
the
now.
there was like the engines thing, atmospheric engines or atmospheric engines, and you.
It could have been an artifact, yeah, a boat
But
effect.
we didn't have engine works in the first book.
No, so I think
It must have been a Skyport thing.
I think it was like the Zilfin thing was called Aetherspheric Endrins or something. I remember Spheric Endrins.
Yeah, definitely we had them, and we
Um,
deployed in reserve.
and then it
But it was
came down,
favourable to have something like that for Zilfin.
but that was before every boat could teleport. Like boats couldn't
Mm-hmm.
teleport back then.
Yeah, I
Um, own
think something will have to change for Zilfin because it just makes it such a strong pick.
yeah. The
Saturine says he thinks it was the unique artifact for Zilfin. Yeah, I can't remember exactly how it worked. Maybe it was just because obviously you didn't have artifacts for boats, so. But
no,
it was definitely. I think it was definitely. It was definitely just in Zilfin people used it, because that was just what you did. You just deployed off the table, and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to bring this boat onto the table, and then oh, by the way, there's like a million balloon boys in it as well, and there's like, okay, now they're all going to shoot you, and now they're going to charge you.
Yeah, I mean there was the original clown car.
So, but are we saying Zilfin needs a bit of a nerf?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so how do we do that? Because I think it does need to have something like a once per game you can move really fast.
I mean,
somehow.
I like they're running 6 inches is good.
How about a once per game you can move twice in the movement phase?
Um,
So you go really fast. You could fly. You could still fly high the ship and then move the ship as well, or make riggers go 24 inches or something. But you wouldn't
yeah.
be able to do any of the. You wouldn't be able to do any spell in the bottle shenanigans because you're not doing it in the hero phase. You're doing it in the movement phase, and you wouldn't be able to fly hard, go really far somewhere, and then get guys out of the boat because they can't get out after it's moved.
No.
But you still got
And
this once per game where the ship could fly high somewhere and then move, or just move twice to go really far onto an objective or something.
I could give it run and charge and shoot, I guess, for a turn, and still keep the running 6 inches thing.
Yeah, once per game,
which
one
essentially
unit to run,
gives
shoot,
it
and
a, gives the Ironclad a 16-inch move. And then it can still act normally.
Okay, there's a couple of ideas there to nerf it without making it too bad.
I think Zilfin will get nerfed. Yeah, Barrack Zon is. I love Barrack Zon. I hope it. We get that becomes the combat KO, Skyport, and it actually works. I mean, what we have now isn't bad. The +1 to hit and wound for Sky Wardens when they charge.
No, I think the problem with it was cogs changed, and at the same time, we had the changes to coherency. You couldn't take a 12-man Sky Warden unit, and and then all the the armor saves as well meant that it basically Sky Wardens or Ender Riggers can quite easily go into something now and bounce. So I think the problem with
one just isn't enough.
Yeah, I think the problem with Zon is the Warscrolls, not necessarily what Zon does.
Yeah, so Zon as a Sky, just looking at the Skyports, Zon could stay as it is, really.
Except for the footnote, because that's pretty rubbish. Like the once per game, you can get out in the hero phase.
Still don't get what that's about. That's
no.
Once per game, you can get in your hero phase. Okay. What's the difference between getting out in my hero phase and getting out in the movement phase, though?
Yeah.
What does that do?
No. Nothing. How about Barak Nar?
Yeah, they need. I mean, they've been like the Warscroll, Skyport wise, they're the anti-magic, so they're just bring back roll 3d6 for your unbinds.
Mhm.
Bring that back. So
Mm.
that was a thing. It was like if a
Well, that
character.
was an artifact, though. And it was too powerful for one guy, let alone for doing it for your whole like making it as because we were already saying, they're not going to have sub faction artifacts, aren't we?
No sub-faction artifacts.
You couldn't do it for every hero, or like for all your navigators get 3d6.
Sure, you could. No, they wouldn't do that.
Here's something you could do, which I think would be good for Thunderers and for Baranara, they become battle line, and they get a rule to, or it could just be everything in Barak gets like a 6+ spell ignore, or like a 5+ spell ignore.
Yeah, give them a spell ignore instead. Make that instead of unbinds, give them like a 6-up or 5-up spell ignore. Spell ignores usually come in 6-ups. I think that's what we've seen with the State's Darkness book. If you just get a spell ignore, it's a 6-up.
You know what you call that ability?
Useless.
No, trust aphomatics, not superstition. That's what you call the. Although I think that might be what the unbinds one is called at the moment. But that
change
would be
the
good.
unbinds one into spell ignores.
Yeah, that or have both. So if you fail to unbind the spell, you still got a chance of ignoring it. I think it'd be good for Thunderers because the good thing about Thunderers is they obviously are very good at Unleash Hell, but their weakness is they can get picked off from range by magic or shooting. There kind of are some tech currently in the book with like vent plates and stuff for the shooting, but the magic is the worst thing for them.
Yeah.
So you give them a spell ignore, so they become battle line and a bit tankier to magic armies, and they become pretty good.
I mean,
enough I
just give 6-up spell ignore just to everyone. Like if you Barak now, you have 6-up spell ignore.
How about if it's a 6-up for everyone, and then Thunder is a battle line and get a 5-up?
Oof. No, I don't think they'd do that. I don't think they'd do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's too much. They'd make them battle line still somehow. Thunder's battle line, and but you have to be back now.
Do you think that's enough to make Barak good though? A spell ignore, 6-up spell ignore?
No, I don't think it'll be good enough. But there are always some rubbish. No, I don't know. Some books lately have had like really all the sub factions are really good, and like change the army in a good way and work really nice. Like Doc did that, but Doc are also Games Workshop's favorite, so I don't think we're going to get a Doc.
I just remembered something. I'm going to circle back a little bit because I remembered what I was going to say earlier, and I remember why I didn't say it straight away was because it wasn't about Garrisoning. I thought of it while we were doing Garrisoning, but it was about Aether Gold.
Okay.
You know how you have grave sites?
Yeah.
Imagine we have Aether Gold seams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's Aether Gold seams. There's 4 things, and if we have a unit controlling the Aether Gold, there's no enemy units nearby. That unit gets a share of or one unit within range of it gets an extra share of Aether Gold.
I mean, we've had there's precedent for something like that because we've always had this command trait Prospector, which is like pick a terrain feature and that's got lots of Aether Gold on it, and you don't have to take Battle Shock or something next to it.
Yeah.
Well, what if instead of not taking Battle Shock, you just go more Aether Gold?
And it kind of makes sense then from a KO point of view because we're not that good at controlling objectives and stuff, but we don't want to be controlling the objectives. We want to control the Aether Gold.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Might be an added complexity. I don't know.
Yeah. But back to Skyport.
Back to
so
Skyport.
The other big
Sorry.
one is Barak Urbaz. Not Urbaz. Thring.
Thring.
So
it's okay.
The reroll ones is gonna go. No more rerolls. They're throwing all the rerolls out.
Well, hang on. We didn't cover that in Zilfin.
Yeah, that's right. Then you're not getting reroll ones to hit against flying things anymore. You may be getting +1 to hit.
Okay. That's pretty
which
good.
is
That's very good. But yeah,
is it?
okay.
Yeah, it
Oh,
would
it's the
be
same, but I mean, it means you don't have to use all-out attack on
all
your
attack.
ships. You know, that would be very good. I would want you like a couple of ironclads and silver. Would be very good. But Fring, what would you replace the reroll
Well,
ones for? I don't
again,
even
I
know what
think
Fring gets. Oh, it's the grudges,
reroll.
isn't it? What are the grudges?
Yeah,
You get +1 to hit
pick 3
against
units.
things
You
you're
get
grudged.
+1 to hit against those units.
Hmm.
Everything is +1 to hit now. All rerolls ones have been turned into +1s.
Mm-hmm.
I can see fight on death. That'll stay.
Mm-hmm.
They'll
probably keep the coalition thing.
Yes, definitely. They'll make that the Fire Slayer KO one. I don't know if the exploding 6s will last though. That might disappear. Because that's a once per game thing that affects one model, and I guess that's the kind of added complexity that they try to trim out when they make these kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I would quite. Yeah, I mean, I like Fring. The main reason to take it is the rerolls. +1 to hit is also really good. It's a bit of a nerf for Fring because obviously at the moment you can do rerolls and combine it with +1.
yeah, and then get exploding 6s, and suddenly your volley cannon is just insane for a turn.
Yeah.
And then put the Aether Gold in it, so it's 2s with 46 shots, 6s exploding, and yeah. I don't know, put a chemist on that so you can go 1s to wound as well.
I'm not sure Fring should be +1 to hit. I think maybe. I feel like they're the stubborn ones. That's why they have grudges. Maybe they should get +1 to save from attacks that come from the units that are grudge. So they're more survivable. You pick 3 enemy units and you're more survivable against them.
Or no, you could do what they do in Leagues of Votann, right?
Mm.
But not to the extent where they do in Leagues of Votann. So 6s to hit against your grudged units are auto wounds.
Mm-hmm.
If you roll a 6 to hit, you just that wounds.
Yeah.
That could be something.
Yeah, or mortal wounds. Maybe.
Ooh,
That's wishlisting.
no.
That's wishlisting.
No.
That's wishlisting now.
Think about the volley cannon with 6s to hit 2 mortal wounds.
I mean, they could do it 6s
would just
to wound, do more wounds. 6s to wound, do more wounds wouldn't be quite so. Oh, it would still be very good though. It'd still be too good, wouldn't it?
It would
just imagine how
6
good it would
with
be.
that many shots. With that many shots.
Your whole army getting 6s, do more wounds. Oh.
You just go Archaon. He's grudged. Also, here are my volley gun spammed Arcanauts and Ironclads and Skywardens. Brah! He's dead. Your whole army is dead. I rolled 1,000,000 dice and now it's dead.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, maybe they won't do that.
There's another army that does auto wounds, right? In Age of Sigmar, isn't there one that 6s to hit do the ghosts do it?
Mm-hmm.
6 to hit with a ghost, auto wounds. It's not a mortal wound; it's just a wound.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice way of giving a little buff without rerolls or. Yeah.
That's a actual speculation. That might be what they do. Because Votann does it, and I think we're gonna see some design choices copied over from Votann.
Mm-hmm. How about in Fring, coalition units get the marine keyword, or can go inside a boat?
That's wish listing, but yeah, that's up on my wish listing. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
You still can't do
you can take some fire slayers and put them.
You still can't put Gotrek in a boat, but you could totally put a unit of Hearthguard to come out of the Ironclad and charge and chop someone up.
I mean, if you're playing Fring and you're taking fire slayers or dispossess, it's kind of what you want to do, isn't it?
Yeah,
it would be really cool.
That's right. You could totally put
Iron Drakes on the boat.
Iron Drakes on a boat. That's some nasty stuff.
Yeah.
Or just some like a big combat unit, and then don't even get them out. Just charge the Ironclad in and suddenly hit everyone
'cause
with
you're
your 20 hammers.
Yeah, they all get to attack from like one place.
Or little janky thing that would be cool. You get to put like your gyrocopters in ironclads, and it like deploys the fighters, and they all fly out. And you just would it do? Does it do much in game? No, but it looks cool.
Yeah, that's kind of a bit losing the like verisimilitude. Then, like you just helicopters getting out of ships doesn't make sense. But
yeah, but
it would
it's
be kind
cool.
of
It like deploys all the fighters like
a
Star Destroyer or something.
Like, yeah, that's what I was just thinking of, like Star Wars when all the TIE fighters come out.
Yeah.
That sounds quite cool. Man.
I mean, we're not at Warscrolls yet, but make gyrocopters a KO unit.
Or yeah, well, maybe.
Just
or
put it in my book.
Okay, what other Skyports have we not talked about? We sort of mentioned Urbaz, but didn't.
Urbaz, I
miss Urbaz. I miss Urbaz from second edition. I didn't play it much, but I felt like it was a good place. Edition? Well, it was the same, but obviously the triumphs were different. So you had +1 to save and reroll saves, reroll hits, and it was very good for new players, I think, because it was forgiving.
Yeah, everyone got more gold, and you didn't get the -1 to leadership that.
I mean, it's still the same now, but it's just the fact the triumphs changed, and it made it less interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, gun haulers as battleline is always fun.
Yeah.
I do want to try a 14 gun hauler list one day. I don't own that many gun haulers, but I would like to. I think I never really
understood why gun haulers are battleline in Barracudas.
Not really. That.
In fact, in some ways, it should be frigates would make more sense because it's like they're the marketplace. So frigates are the things with the holds that can carry stuff. So they would make more sense. They would have frigates.
Are frigates the ones with the holes? I think it's ironclads. Aren't ironclads all the big holes and like the?
Well, they both have holds, but
ironclads actually have. They make Aether Gold. Like ironclads have that big sieve at the front, don't they? Isn't that like to collect Aether Gold and like so they can literally just fly through a cloud and just gather a whole bunch?
No, it's just.
Isn't that what that thing at the front is for?
No, well, it takes in air. It's like an air intake for the engines and stuff.
Is it?
No, like if you read the novels, like they don't do that with an ironclad. They've got they have separate. When they find an Aether Gold scene, they've got like these whole other like trawler ships that go and suck up all the gold.
I thought the ironclad I thought what some of the original lore was like to keep it going further. Like so, the reason the ironclad could just keep going is like every time it runs low on fuel, it can like find a cloud, drive through it, like, and they can kind of fill up its engines. Like it can't get gold on an industrial scale. Like it's never going to gather enough gold to go back by itself.
It's like Mad Max with his little solar panel on the roof, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like a little solar panel. I mean, I paint all my civs like the front of that thing. I like dry brush it gold just to make it look like it's done that sometime. Okay. So I hope that's what the lore is. Maybe I'm wrong.
You might have made it up. It's pretty cool though. I like the idea. But my problem is frigates are like their sole purpose is to ferry stuff around because they're not actually that good at shooting. Whereas an ironclad is kind of like it's like a flagship type thing. It's good at shooting. It's like so frigates are like if you would like a trader,
get into ironclads in the Warscroll section.
Yeah. But it makes more sense to me for Urbaz to have frigates be battle line. I know Zilfin are going to have like the fastest frigates, but Urbaz, I don't know why they.
But Zilfin don't even have the fastest frigates. Apparently,
Mornar
have the fastest frigate.
Yeah,
that hits the hardest and isn't actually that good, but you know,
Mhm.
it can reroll its charges. Normal frigates can't do that.
Mhm.
They can just reroll their runs.
Yeah. It
Um,
makes more sense to me that Barrack Nar, because they're the rich guys, that they would make gun haulers battle line because they can afford them.
yeah, but that means they
Well, they're saying
don't
that in
get to have
Clonaways.
thunderers.
Well, they could do both.
'Cause you're only getting one battle line option
Yeah, you
per
would only get one.
thing.
Actually, also, now that I think about it makes more sense that Barrack Nar would have the extra gold as well. Why does Urbaz get all this stuff? Like, because Barrack Nar are meant to be rich.
Urbaz, yeah,
They are the
but they're
market
the
traders.
anti-magic guys, and Urbaz are the traders, so they're the
But they're meant to be the
guys.
rich anti-magic guys. Like, Nar was
Yeah,
in the first book. Nar was the richest Skyport. They're not so much anymore, but they are like rich and powerful.
I think Zilfin overtook them. Yeah, because literally no one played anything but Zilfin in the old book. There wasn't even a question.
The reason lore-wise they overtook them was because the Necro literally blew away all the Aether Gold, and because Zilfin had the fastest ships, they got to the Aether Gold quickest, and so claimed it. That is literally why they're the fastest.
Dreki's sleeping on that somewhat.
Okay. Speaking of Dreki, what about? I don't get Urbaz, but yeah. Anyway, Dreki Mornar. It's got some interesting things. It's going to lose the Gale Force stave probably.
Yeah. Ooh. What if Mornar got a cool sub-faction ability because Mornar like the sneaky guys, right? What if you make them cruel boys and say they can't be shot beyond 12? Which is a little bit useless for KO because we're always at 12. But turn 1, I guess if they could take turn 1, they're not going to shoot you. Because you're sneaky.
Yeah.
And everyone you're coming in from the shadows and then you jump in and hit them.
They've always had the run and shoot turn 1, haven't they? As well, that's always been a thing.
Yeah.
Even in the first book. Yeah, because I used to combine that with Brock, so you could run, shoot, and charge.
Yeah. Can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Remember when Brock was better in Battlefield than he was in now? Yeah, Mornar. Yeah, it needs to be the naughty Skyport.
The evil guys.
I like the command trait it has at the moment, but it's probably going to lose that. So will that become its footnote, do you think?
Maybe. I don't know. It might. I mean, I don't think anyone really. Such a useless command trait, though. So you can deploy. You can put your ship 9 inches away from them. Right, okay, and then you can't move, and you're stuck there. So you better hope that it's forcing you to take turn 1, which you don't really want to do.
You can do some interesting things with that thing, and being able to, it is cool. I think that ability should stay. But obviously it can't be a command trait. So I think
you can't get people out of the boat. Using that command trait, you can't. It's literally to put a boat. I guess if you want to do the Zilfin set up a endless spell, but not be Zilfin.
Yeah.
Then there's that, I guess.
It should stay, but have less limitations because, Bastion has a similar thing. I think Mornar should let you put stuff in reserve, and I think Mornar, you can put things in reserve, and you have that as a footnote that you can take either one ship. You can take one ship and either put it into reserve or put it somewhere else in deployment. And then it would have one other ability, which would be the run and shoot, I guess.
Yeah. And you can do it with an ironclad, I guess. Okay. You put the ironclad up front, and you give it volley cannon, and you put a Gale Force stave. You give it a last word, and you put Gale Force stave on it, and maybe it'll survive.
One of the things about the current Battletome and the Skyports is there's just abilities that are pretty pointless. Like Monar's, one of Monar's is like -1 bravery, isn't it? Yeah, subtract 1 from bravery characteristic of enemy units. Like,
oh, that's right. And reroll battle shock tests if they're wholly within your opponent's territory. Like, oh boy,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
definitely a
Let's just
rule
get
I've
rid of all
never
those.
remembered.
Yeah, all of those ones, those sorts of things. Let's just get rid of them for all the Skyports because I'm pretty sure Urbaz has got a similar one as well.
Barrack Mornar has a once per game fight first ability, which I think I've also never remembered. Yeah, Mornar is pretty much just exists on the command trait and artifact. Like that's what makes Mornar.
Yeah. Which are the two
And then,
things they're
like, then
saying that
there's
they're going to
the
lose.
yeah, and then there's the amendment, which is run and shoot in turn 1, which is that's good. That gets used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. And then, I think letting them deploy in reserve would be cool, and then being able to combine that with the at the end of deployment, moving a ship thing would be cool.
Yeah. I guess. Oh, and finally, here's a question: is the custom Skyport going to disappear?
I don't know because it's only ever been KO that's had this thing where you can do it, and I kind of like it, but
it might be literally no other faction has that anymore. I think a couple did at the start. Like it's a holdover from create your own chapter thing in 40k, but I guess the big benefits that we get from it at the moment, which is you get to choose your command trait and you get to choose your artifact. That's not going to be a thing anymore because everyone will be able to choose a command trait and an artifact.
Yeah, I think it will stay. I think they might. I don't know. I would like it to stay. It might not because they do seem to be slimming down books.
Yeah.
In terms of the amount of rules, if it did stay, I would like it to just be like, you can pick 3 of these things, and it's just a list of things in any combination, not like because at the moment we have
if I was to speculate,
3 different columns.
I think it might turn into a narrative play thing.
Yeah,
like true. A Path to Glory, you can make your own Skyport in Path to Glory, but it might be moving out of match play.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's not overpowered at the moment.
It's not. It's just the slimming down of the rules and just like not having all this stuff in the book. I guess.
It's a shame because I do like it. I would like it to be more flavorful. At the moment, there's like 3 that you pick certain ones.
Yeah, but I do like, especially that it's not. It's actually getting used. Like there are people who go 5-0 with custom Skyports, and that's really cool to me.
It doesn't feel like it's doing its job though. It's not like, okay, well, if I take this Skyport, this, and I can take this, this, and this, and I make a Skyport that has X flavor, and if I take these other things, I have Skyport that has like Y flavor. Like it doesn't seem to do that, and a lot of the things it can do are things that you can do in the actual Skyports.
Yeah,
like Urbaz and that sort of thing. So
the really big thing is that picking your command trait and artifact, and that everyone's going to have that. So I think it might disappear.
Mm-hmm. Okay, shall we move on?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Warscrolls
interesting one.
And points.
Oh boy! Now I'm going to have to do wish listing and speculation because there are some things I want that I'm probably not going to get, but there are some things I want.
Okay, well, you sound excited, so you tell me what you start talking, and I'll...
All right. First of all, the Ironclad is a flagship that issues orders to its fleet. Bring that back. Well, I love that in first edition. It's a buff boat.
Let's start small let's let it issue orders to itself as well, because it can't even do that at the moment.
Just make it a totem. Like,
Yeah.
it can issue orders within 18 inches of itself. There, it's a totem now. Now, it's suddenly it can do everything that the old one could, well, similar stuff to what the old one could, with a single keyword change. You
Okay.
fixed it. It's a totem. It's good.
Would you settle for at least making it elite?
Sure. All the boats should be elite. Okay,
Yes.
maybe not the gun hauler. The frigate should be elite.
I don't think the gun hauler should be, but the frigate should be, and the ironclad definitely should be.
Because
I like the idea of the ironclad being a totem. That's very cool.
Because the ironclad's got that guy with the little
signal
the signal flares and signal lights and stuff. The frigate has got like a whole, like, it's got a navigator and an engineer on board and a captain. So that thing could totally be elite. And then the ironclad can just issue orders because it's literally the flagship. It is the ship that issues orders. That's what a flagship is.
Okay. I want to add to this. They should count as more models on objectives.
Oof, count as 5 models, maybe?
Well, I think potentially they should count as quite a few, but it depends on what we're doing with garrisoning, which we kind of said that it will probably stay the same as it is. In which case,
KO's weakness is holding objectives, and I think they will keep that.
Are we like, if an ironclad count as 10 models on objective? Bear in mind it's 490 points, and if the units inside aren't counting for the objective, is that too strong? 10 model. Bear in mind it's got a engine master, which should be a 2-point model. It's got a navigator, which should be a 2-point model. It's a behemoth, which probably makes it worth 5. And then it's also got Arcanauts on it and a captain.
But that means that so it'll outscore only even Archaon only counts as 5.
Oh, okay, good point.
Morathi counts only specifically like Gargants and Kragnos count as 10, a million. But having an ironclad walk up and just sit on Morathi and just go, nope, I'm a boat.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, maybe 5 then.
All right,
5.
Go to 5. 5 makes sense. So many times in games, people have been like, "Oh, how many does that giant boat count as?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a model with
2.
more than 5 wounds, so 2."
Yeah. The other thing I thought it could be linked to its damage table. So the more damage it is,
give it a mightier Mike's idea kind of thing.
It's a big boat, and it's more mighty than the frigate, and that sort of thing. I'm fine with the gun hauler being 2. I feel like because the trouble is, I don't feel like the ironclad should be worth the same as a frigate on an objective.
No, it probably shouldn't.
But if you make it 5, then you probably make the frigate 5 if you're doing that, because it's behemoth. It's basically a monster type thing.
Just make the ironclad 5 and then keep the frigate and the gun hauler at 2.
I mean, the frigate should count as more than a gun hauler on an objective, surely.
Probably, it's a lot bigger.
I mean, you could go 2, 4, 6, and that's not too bad.
Yeah. So here's a total wish listing kind of thing that I really want to happen. So take the ironclad and make it a buff piece and give it a better armor save and focus in on its ability to transport people and bring its firepower all the way down. It's not that's not our gunship. The ironclad is our transport buff ship. It's there to get people into the fight and support them, but it doesn't kill things. The thing that kills things is the new boat that we have. The new boat that comes out. We get a big
where are you going with this? Why are you ruining the ironclad?
Okay. The ironclad is a transport vehicle, and then we have a gunship, a destroyer, a dreadnought.
How many points is that going to be?
It's 500, a million. 500.
Well, the ironclad's 490, so it's not much different from 500.
Yeah, but where the ironclad is all support and defense, so that's our turtle ship, and this is our smash 'em ship.
I think the trouble is we already have a ship for the troop transport role, and that's the frigate. It's
Yeah,
just
but
not
it's
very good
shit
at it.
though.
Yes, but we should. This is the point where we talk about how to make the frigate better, and then the Ironclad should be a gunship. They're not going to. They could give us a better version of an Ironclad that doesn't have troop transport, because the Ironclad is. You could say like the frigate is the troop transport, and you have a big dreadnought thing that's like the battleship, and the Ironclad is in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could make something, and that would then it wouldn't have to be loads of points because it doesn't have the troop transport capabilities. So it could be like an Ironclad on steroids, but no troop transport.
Yeah. Something like that. So that it's
Okay.
no transport, just guns.
So we're
Which
saying
means
two
it can't
cannons
have. Yes.
or three
Or
cannons, like one in the middle,
one cannon
one
up
at
the
each.
one at the front, one at the end. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
two
swivel and
cannons.
stuff. They look
Yeah,
like a battleship.
two cannons and more more torpedoes. The same number of torpedoes and
Same number of
carbines.
torpedoes, more carbines.
More carbines.
Big broadside of carbines.
Yeah. And more bombs or not?
Oh yeah. Also, give the Ironclad back its big D6 mortal wounds bomb. Where did that go? Why did they just turn those off?
I don't know. Just because they didn't want to have they didn't have space for it on the Warscroll, I think.
It's on the
Here's
model.
the
There's so
thing.
much stuff on the Ironclad. You're just like, why? What's this?
Why does the Ironclad only get to drop one bomb? It's got like a whole rack of them. They've got so
Yeah.
many bombs. All the boats in the movement phase, if you fly over something, drop bombs.
More, and also bring back the different types of bombs.
Yeah, yeah, because they've got like 3 different things on the models.
Yeah.
That might get a bit complicated, but I definitely think dropping bombs when you fly over stuff.
That'd be cool, like the gyrocopters do.
And I'd like to see the bombs be weaker, like they only do one mortal wound, but you have more of them.
Yeah. I mean, if you do it like, say, you could do it like Screamers do, which is every time you make a move or charge move, and you go over a unit, you can drop a bomb, which lets you then move over a unit and 3 inches away, drop bomb,
Yeah.
and then charge over and across, drop another bomb. But Screamers have like multiple units, so you roll 1 dice per Screamers. You can do like 6 mortal wound.
Just make it any sort of move, not just charge on a move. Any sort of move. If there's an enemy unit that you pass over, you can
pile in moves.
So you can do it on pile in rather than at the start of the combat phase, which then is a little bit of a nerf. But the fact we're getting, more bombs is good.
Yeah, but
getting to do it in the movement phase.
But this changes with you only get 1 mortal wound per bomb.
Yes, but you get to roll more dice instead, and the number of dice I would like. No, I don't know if I would like this, but how about you have a set amount for each ship for the game, and so you have to manage that resource? Is that too weird?
Nah, that's we're already managing like Aether Gold and command points and all the other stuff that you have to manage in AOS. Okay. Just having another resource would be.
Do you want
think
bombs?
of the paperwork?
Do you want bombs to stay on the damage table, or do you want to just be like you've always got bombs?
Yeah, we'll keep them on the damage table.
Yeah, because at the moment you've got modifiers to it. I would like to say maybe just keep it on a 4+, but the Ironclad just has how many bombs does it have? Like
12, I think. Yeah, 12.
I can't even see my bombs. Where are my bombs?
I think it's got 6 per side.
I'm looking at like my painting table, like trying to see what have I even.
Do you even own an Ironclad? Have you ever painted an Ironclad?
Yes, I've got one. It's 1 painting competition.
It's gone now.
No, I'm looking at the one that's on the painting table, like the second one that I haven't touched for like a month from like weddings and stuff. And I'm like, did I even prime the bombs? Where are the bombs? I can see. Well, there's 3. Yeah, it's 6 on each side, isn't it?
Yeah,
because there's 3 racks of 2
bombs.
So it should have 12 dice. Oh no, that's 6 more wounds. That's a lot more wounds.
And if that spikes and you actually do 12 mortal wounds, you just wipe out like
that's
a dragon.
Too many. Maybe you can drop half of them at a time, because then there's like they're dropping some and they're really loading the other. So it's like the ironclads are like 6 dice, the frigate's like 4, and the gun haul is like
I think
2.
this is still rampant wish listing here.
Well, 6 dice and 4 pluses on mortal wounds. You do on average 3 mortal wounds every
Yeah.
time you move.
That's a lot better than what we have now.
Well, at the moment it's 2 plus, and you can still do 3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, but
the
you can
ironclad.
do up to 3 mortal wounds. This is average of 3 mortal wounds. It could do
True.
6.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it averages roughly 2 at the moment, the ironclad, until it's taking damage.
Yeah.
Because it's on a 2 plus, which basically
Which
means
usually
it's
goes
like,
off, except unless it's really important and it's like I need to do just 1 more wound to this thing. Rolls a 1.
But the central tenet here is it's really annoying that it's the start of the combat phase. And you're like, oh, hang on, I need to try and drop my bombs. And then
Yeah,
you
that
just
moment
you
you're
roll
like,
your dice, and it's like, no, don't worry, I didn't do anything.
charge phase, mortal wounds. Start a combat phase at 2 plus, mortal wounds.
Okay, do you think that we should just have all the ships should have an ability if they charge, they do more wounds?
Nah, that's good as an artifact. That's good as a the frigate, the gun haulers can take it, the ironclads can take it, and then give the frigate something better because they should be able to have something nice as well.
Suggestion for a new unit from Alexander Hernandez, which is basically like a mine deployer ship, and it denies flying units from going into that area. That's kind of interesting. I like that. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah.
Maybe not completely stop things going into an area, but if flying units go into the area, they could take mortal wounds or something.
It's like a mini rat. It drops mini rat traps around the place.
Because if you completely deny the area, then it's just like, right, well, you can't go on that objective.
Yeah, put it all around an objective and then go, cool, Archaon, you disappear. No.
Yeah. So but a disincentive to go into an area would work.
4 plus take D3 mortal wounds or something. Yeah.
Warscrolls. We talked a lot about the ironclad. The frigate needs to hold 11 people or 12 people.
Yeah. Then also in an age of we have armor saves, lots of things of armor saves. Gun hauler stays at 4 plus. Frigate goes to 3 plus. Ironclad's at 2 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Thunderers are at 3 plus because they need to be different from the Arcanauts. Because the Arcanauts are clearly not as heavily armored as Thunderers.
Yes. Okay.
So either put Arcanauts back to 5, which I don't think they're going to do, or bring Thunderers to a 3.
Mm-hmm. And that would also give us an incentive to not play the I'm going to keep away as far as I can away from you type game, because we're a bit more survivable.
Because at the moment it's, if you charge me, I guess I remove this unit then. Usually.
What was I going to say? I think I would like to simplify how much stuff a boat can hold. Get rid of all of this. Oh, you can hold more guys, but you're half movement stuff, and you can't fly high. Just say this is how many models a boat can hold.
So ironclads hold 15. Not ironclads hold 15. Frigates hold 10.
Yeah,
but
and if you have something like a buoyancy aid, it's just like you can hold more guys.
You can hold. You can now hold 25 guys in an ironclad.
Yes,
with a buoyancy aid.
I'm going to say this: ironclad should be 18, because then you can hold a unit of. In Barrack Na, you could hold a unit of 15 Thunderers.
Yeah.
Plus and some heroes, and then you'd make the frigate 12. Because it's like, a dozen and a dozen and a half. That kind of makes sense.
I mean, they have been increasing transport capacity in 30k and 40k, I think, so maybe they'll do it for Age of Sigmar.
Because you can't put the frigate up to 15. 11's weird, so make it 12, and then just put the ironclad up to 18, and then be like, the buoyancy aid lets it go up to 24 or something, or 20, I don't know. Or like, no, 20, because that would be pretty rubbish. If you're already on 18.
25. Keep it at 25. 25 is the number.
Well, it's because it's like you're in multiples of 6, 12, 18, 24.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could make it 21, just add 3. That's not that great, because then it'd be like you could have 20 Thunderers and 1 hero. But Yeah.
Um,
Okay, we've talked about boats mostly.
yeah.
Are
So
you happy with the damage a frigate does compared to a gun hauler?
No, that cannon needs to be different. Make the cannon a D3 plus 3, just like the ogre ones.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not 2 shots, but make it D3 plus. So gun hauler is D6, frigate is D3 plus 3, ironclad is 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a good, scale of damage on cannons.
Yeah. Or even just make it 4. Just make it 4 damage. So it's like you could make that would be good. 4 damage is not bad.
Yeah,
But
it is.
D3 plus
4
3
damage is
is
better than D6 damage.
yeah.
But yeah, going off of previous books, D3 plus 3 seems reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
One shot though. You don't want
Yeah.
it to have 2 shots because otherwise you've got an iron blaster and they're really powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think a cannon, like your big main cannon, should get 2 shots. It should be 1 shot, and then. Okay, how do you feel about shrapnel?
I love shrapnel.
Yeah, do
Then
you
the
love it
ogre.
because it's good, or because it makes sense that they just put a load of knives and forks and other bits of crap in the cannon and fire
I love it because it's good. I love it because it's
it?
good and it's very reliable and it makes my inner spike very happy.
I
Um,
think the volley cannon should be the reliable one, and it shouldn't be 4d6 attacks. It should be a set number of attacks. It should be the shrapnel.
the volley cannon is your spike pick and the cannon is your Timmy pick.
Yeah.
Um,
Although it does make
yeah.
the frigate worse, but I don't understand the whole you can shoot shrapnel business. It doesn't make much sense,
I
and
mean,
it's overcomplicated and unnecessary.
yeah, but the ogre cannon can shoot shrapnel as well. So I don't
Can it?
think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got like a little mini version. Except that one shoots like 10 shots
Mhm.
at 12 inches, and they all damage 2.
Okay.
So some of that, please. Some of that.
Here's the thing for cannons:
Yeah.
rend free,
Yes. Ren 3 on the big guns.
because now we've moved into this world of save stacking, and this is the Ironclad's big main massive cannon, and it's
You're basically giving up all the shooting to have one shot, and
yes,
that shot, if it hits, it should punch through. And
yeah.
Ren 2 doesn't do that.
No, it puts you on like a 50-50 chance by the time they've got like save stacking and stuff. It could even
Yeah.
be Ren 4.
I don't think we have one of those yet.
But with the amount of save stacking there is in a game, like if a big old cannon from an ironclad hits a wizard in the face, it should kill it.
Yeah.
It
I mean, wizards don't have that much of an armor save. It'll kill a wizard if it hits it.
But if you've got something with a 3+ save for Mystic Shield, all out defense, and it's sitting on terrain, it just becomes stupid, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay. Ren 2 doesn't matter.
Yeah. Better rend, or it just does more wounds or something.
I mean, that goes to the question: like, are we giving extra rend to everybody? Are the Thunderers rend 2? Are the Arkanauts rend 1? I think that should still stay that's a good admiral ability to just go that unit plus 1 rend.
You can't make things too strong. I like the idea of making the cannons on the boat stronger because it's like, that's a big massive cannon. But like
that's
a lot of the stuff is like Arkanauts, it's pistols. They're like musket balls, like shot from a little tiny war pistol. It shouldn't be too powerful.
If you gave an extra rend out to too many people, too universally, that's when we get into the game is just over now.
Yeah. Maybe Thunderers with rifles, but
because if you give everyone a +1 rend and you still have an admiral to make them rend 3, then I don't know what's going to happen with the Purple Sun. That might change, but if it stays the same, rend 4. No, you can't have rend 4 guys.
You couldn't buff rend across the whole army without getting rid of that admiral ability.
Yeah,
you can't.
The admiral ability is balanced. I think it's a once per game thing, and you need to buy this pretty expensive hero from relative to other KO heroes. to do it, and it's a once per game, but it does, kill stuff. But right now, you have with the Purple Sun Admiral Thunderers, Ren 3 Thunderers kill everything, and that's you have to put a lot of resources and list building into making this one thing happen. But then you're rewarded with it ends the game. If everyone had that, the game would be over. KO would just be 80% win rate, kill every army in the game.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
No, we can't.
Heroes
and units in general.
Brock Grungson, what would he need to be good in the perfect world?
What do we need to do to get him on this cover?
How do we make this cover a reality?
By the way, I should put out I mocked this up. This book does not exist.
This is Lee's insider English leaks.
Yeah, no, it's so good. No, it's Photoshop. Brock Grunson...
Put a blurry picture out on the internet. Bell Lost Souls will probably pick it up and try and spread it as a legitimate thing.
Yeah. I did think about doing that. I did think about just leaving it on the white background and just posting it online somewhere.
Have like a blurry image, half cropped out, but Kharadron Overlords.
No, have it on screen and take a picture at work, so it's in an office environment with my phone of it on the screen. It's what I've just seen in an office on a computer screen
in the office in the Citadel offices.
Yeah.
You can trust me, I'm from England.
Yeah, you can trust me. I don't live in Nottingham. Yeah, so what were we talking about? Warscrolls. Brock.
What makes Brock good? What does Brock need to do to be good?
This does bring us back to the news and the MetaWatch article, because they talked about unique heroes and the fact that they don't get command traits and artifacts, so they are aware that unique heroes need to be better to justify being in armies. So that's a good way of saying that Brock could be better.
Because right now he's being directly compared to the Endrin Master in the Dirigible Suit, who does very similar things and can take artifacts and stuff.
Well, he does more things. He heals the boat. He makes Engine Riggers and Skywardens battle line.
Yeah. Brock needs to at least make the Skywardens... Take the Skywarden battle line thing away from the Endrin Master on Dirigible Suit and give it to Brock.
I kind of like it. I think the Endrin Master of Dirigible Suit should make Engine Riggers battle line.
Yes.
Because he's an Endrin Master.
But he shouldn't make Skywarden's battle line because he's not a Skywardenman.
So maybe let Brock make Skywarden's battle line.
That is not an invitation for Games Workshop to give us our new hero who's a Skywarden hero now.
No.
That would be so lame.
Cool. I wouldn't mind a Grundstock General.
If the only thing we get is a Skywarden hero, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, well, I don't know what happened. We don't need any more heroes. Although I would settle for Grundstock hero.
Yeah,
Grundstock hero
Grundstock
that buffs Thunderers.
Makes them battle line and whatnot.
Can do something to gun haulers, or he's like a gun hauler and he's attached to the gun hauler. He's hanging off the side of a gun hauler and pointing into the distance, you shoot over there, and then they get.
We need a boat hero. I think we need a boat that is a hero that we can. So you can technically run an all boat army, not a single foot troop.
Should it be good? Probably not. An alternate Warscroll for the Ironclad.
Yeah.
Just two different Warscrolls for the Ironclad, a hero version and a non-hero.
Ooh, maybe that's how they do it. So you get one Ironclad that's, the buff, tough, commanding Ironclad, and then you get a gunship Ironclad. And then change the kits to take some of the guns off, maybe? Replace them with command positions, take the main target off and replace it with a guy. Alexander Hernandez said it buffed the Sky Vessel. I'm not sure. I think that's probably in relation to the Grundstock hero,
Or is he talking about Brock? I don't know. Should Brock buff boats?
Right. Brock should buff something that
Right.
isn't reroll charges within 24 because that's shit.
Going back to the lore, Brock rescued Barrack Zon. Was it Barrack Zon? By just leading the charge on a massive, huge armada. That's what he needs to be doing. He needs to be and he also went on his big tour. He's like the traveling man. I feel like Brock should be able to count as your general, regardless of whatever Skyport.
Yeah,
whether he's your general or not. And I think he should benefit from. I don't know. Not benefit from. He should get something no matter what Skyport he's in. He should be he can do something. He shouldn't have a command ability where it only works on Barrack Nar, because we've seen him command combined fleets.
Yeah, he has. But wait, what buff? What buff does Brock give out that isn't too powerful, but also gives us a reason to take him over the Endron Master?
It used to be run and charge, which was good. We don't need buffs to charge because we can already get those, and we don't want too many because we haven't talked about it yet. But things like the battle ram and stuff might still exist. Who knows?
Yeah.
It makes sense that he would be good with Sky Wardens, but if he's Barrack Nar, then he should also be good with the whole way Barrack Nar was playing Thunderers and stuff.
He should have better shooting in combat than the Endron Master, that's for sure.
Could he just have an inspiring presence thing because the Admiral doesn't have it anymore?
Maybe, yeah.
Brock's around, so we'll be fine. I'm not gonna. I can't run away. Brock's here.
I guess, but that's not making me take him.
No, or I don't know. What would make me want to take Brock? That makes sense for Brock. He can give out gold to people because he's so rich. You spend a command point and he can give a unit within so many inches a share of Aether Gold at the start of any phase.
What if he can issue multiple orders to people? So like orcs can. You can issue all out attack to 3 units if he's there.
Oh, how about we can charge in the opponent's charge phase at the end of the opponent's charge phase with a command ability from Brock?
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny.
That would be very good for a battle round.
Oh yeah, and it would you could sacrifice Archnaut units to keep your Thunder units alive longer, out of combat.
Although you want your Thunders to be charged, but
you do and you don't. They still die.
He's hard. He needs to. I mean, let's say he makes Sky Warden's battle line.
He's the only guy who makes Sky Warden's battle line.
Yes. He should probably then buff Sky Wardens. Because then if you're taking him about now, you've got Sky Wardens and Thunder's battle line.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
Buff Sky Wardens. Maybe actually make their mines useful.
The retreating and blowing up mines.
I think he should let Engine or Sky Wardens do mortal wounds on the charge.
Yeah,
he does mortal wounds on the charge.
He does.
Yeah.
That's because he does have his giant mega suit.
Yeah. Okay, we can't talk about Brock forever. The other heroes, kind of okay with the Chemist.
I think they're good where they are. Yeah.
Chemist just needs to be able to do his thing in the boat.
The Admiral is I love the Admiral. Chemist, yeah, do his thing. Navigator's fine.
Engine Master, maybe let him heal the boat in
for 3.
No, just in the hero phase, not your hero phase.
Oh yeah,
that could be good. So it's not just I've got double turns and now I can't heal type thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
that might be annoying.
But it give us a reason to take him over the dirigible suit guy.
Yeah. I mean, although it would be mean if the Druid also I couldn't do it as well. But I feel like the problem with, I mean, the thing is, if we're going to say the boats are going to have better armor, then the Engine Master becomes better anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of okay.
I think the little hero's in a really good place.
The
It's
Navigator is
literally
really good.
just what?
The Navigator is really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Admiral's good. So I mean, it's the Engine Master on foot is the other than Brock. He's kind of like the one that maybe you don't take.
Yeah.
Because...
Him and Brock are like the only two heroes that need. The little
Dreki.
one is just
Dreki
because the one on foot, like, it's just the ritual suit heals better, and does heaps of other stuff, and the Admiral, it has better combat and also does heaps of other stuff, and the Ender Master kind of does a little bit of combat, does a little bit of healing, but neither of the two, and yeah, he's just not good.
I think buff the range on the pistols for all the foot heroes. Because most of them have 9-inch range of pistols. It's a bit annoying, like, okay, I'm shooting, and then you're not going to shoot with your hero. No, I can't. You're not going to shoot, no. You know, why is the Navigator's one 15 inches, and they're all like, and everyone else is like, no, I've got a 9-inch shot.
Yeah, well, he's
maybe
got,
not the chemist. I understand the chemist because he's literally shooting gas at you.
And also, chemist spam on a boat would be scary.
Yeah. But the Engine Master, like, his pistol should be a bit better. He's an engineer. He should be able to engineer himself a good pistol.
Yeah.
Okay. Thunderers. We said about a +1 to armor save. I think that's pretty cool. I don't. Do they need all the different guns? Or can they just have, like,
yes,
a name?
They do, but
do they just have one way of rolling them?
So I like the million guns, but realistically, I think that's going to change into Thunderous special weapon does this.
Yes.
Thunder rifle and special weapon.
Even if they have listed differently, just hit, wound, rend, and damage the same. So it might be slightly different numbers of attacks for each one, maybe, but
yeah. But a cannon being damage 1 and
you just don't want to roll for all separately. You just want to roll for the special weapons together.
I know, and they're gonna do it because it's about slimming down and streamlining the game a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to make me sad.
Mm-hmm. What about rifles? Do you think rifles should just be freeze and freeze?
Probably, yeah. 3s to wound. 4s to wound is really hurts.
Bad.
Although, again, yeah, like, I don't think we can realistically actually increase the damage of KO.
What about 4s and 3s? So they can, because the trouble is at the moment is the only way they can buff that to wound is once per game most of the time.
Yeah.
But you can give them all that attack, so they could be on 3s and 3s.
Oh,
it's much better than being on 2s and 4s.
The chemist is going to lose his reroll 1s to wound. Maybe the chemist gives out a +1 to wound buff.
Yeah, maybe he might do.
He's going to lose his reroll 1s to wound. That's what he's going to do that.
Yeah, it could be +1 to wound, and then that would make him really good with Thunderers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Arcanauts, I'm quite happy with. Yeah. I would like to see that being able to have 3 skyhooks again or 3, but it's not going to happen. Let's be honest, it's wishlisting and it's not going to happen.
I want my 40 Arcanauts with 12 skyhooks back.
Mm-hmm.
That was good times. I have them. I still have all those models. I want to do something with them.
I would quite like. I think I've mentioned this before on the show in previous times, but I've always, because we don't have musicians and banner bearers and stuff for the Arcanauts.
No,
we get the different weapons instead. I would quite like the fact that if you've got a skyhook in the unit, it buffs the unit in some way. If you've got a volley gun in the unit, it buffs the unit in some way, and you've got a sky pike in the unit in some way, It buffs the unit so that it's kind of like, oh, okay, we've got these things. It inspires the other guys in the unit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
But like right now they get inspired by being near objectives, which is a cool mechanic. I think they get their reroll. They get +1 to hit and reroll leadership, bravery next to objectives, which I think is really cool.
Do they need to be better in melee?
Nah, they're good as it is. They're 1 attack, 4s and 4s, and then they've got their sky pike, which the sky pikes maybe need to change into 3s and 3s, like across the board, because sky pikes never do anything.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to attack with a guy now that has a good weapon and does nothing.
Yeah, go like all my attacks. All right, now the gun butts, and now the money shot, the sky pike, 4s and 4s. All right. Anyway, they missed. So continue.
It's the sky pikes always the issue, isn't it? And you see people sometimes exclude it and not bother with it. It needs to be better. That's kind of what I like, the idea of having a unit and it's got 3 sky pikes. I want that to be a thing.
For the Arkanauts with 12 sky pikes, that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, and it's like a really cool melee unit. It would be quite fun to have, but the problem is you would end up with people just spamming skyhooks.
You would. Cool. Just like they did in earlier editions.
What about points?
I feel like we've got good points right now. Like you can fit pretty much whatever you want in a list.
What about for internal balance purposes?
I think it's pretty good. Like most KO, like most units get used. It's literally just Brock and like the name characters who don't.
Okay. Do you think Thunderers are well priced?
Yeah, they are a bit expensive, but I feel like they are well priced.
I mean, the thing is, if we're talking about we're going to give them +1 armor save, then
you probably need to increase their points.
I think you can +1 and keep them the same, to be honest.
Yeah, 135 or 270 for 10 Thunders isn't that bad.
It's a lot of points, isn't it? The thing is, what I don't like is if you take 10 Thunderers and a frigate and it costs more than taking an Ironclad.
Yeah. Well, right now, I don't think you shouldn't put 10 Thunderers with rifles anywhere, because 10 Thunderers rifles don't do anything.
No, but even if you're putting 10 Thunderers with mixed weapons in a frigate, it still shouldn't cost more than an Ironclad. Like, the combination is... maybe Thunderers are fine if we're going to +1 to wound. No, +1 to save, sorry. And we're already saying that we're going to give +1 to save for both the boats. But
yeah,
I think a frigate needs to come down in points then. Or stay the same and the Ironclad needs to go up.
Yeah, I like... Because the frigate is... Like, I don't like the frigate, but other people do, and they're doing well with the 250-point frigate. So,
yeah. Although I think I remember Jeremy admitting to Max that if he had another Ironclad, it would be better than the 2 frigates. He just hasn't got them. Alexander Hernandez saying maybe the gunholders should have a bodyguard instead of a 6-up ward. They used to have a bodyguard. It was on a 5-up, and now they
it was a 5-up bodyguard. And now it's a 6-up ward. Bring back to a 3-up bodyguard, like all the other bodyguard rules. That would make gunhaulers very like you would if you take an Ironclad, you're taking a gunhauler.
I would like to see it that the more gunhaulers you have, the better. So maybe if you have a gunhauler, it's a 6-up ward. If you have 2 gunhaulers, it becomes a 5-up. Oh no! Is that too strong? Or like. Maybe if it's getting buffs, then it needs to be a bodyguard rather than a ward, because but a bodyguard that's instead of a ward, so you can't have a ward and a bodyguard. If that makes sense.
You can't do that anyway. You can't get a ward and a bodyguard anyway.
Well, you can with some of the wordings because GW. So just make sure it's worded in the right way so you can't stack it.
Yeah, you take away it doesn't give out wards anymore. It just gives a bodyguard. So the gunhauler will die now if it gets shot. If you shoot the Ironclad, but it's weird right now with the gunhauler is like, taking hits for the Ironclad, but gunning distractions for it, but it's not actually ever getting hit. Like it is no danger whatsoever if it's
But
defending an ironclad.
do you not think it makes sense that you got one gun hauler flying like between the ironclad and the enemy, and it gives a 6 at war. You've got 5 flying between the ironclad, and it doesn't make any difference. It's like, well, it doesn't just the same as having 1. Like you should get a little bit of a buff if there's more than 1. Like this, you can't grow too much. Like just like if you've got 1, it's this. If you've got more than 1 gun hauler, it's better.
Otherwise, you'd have you'd really build into that invincible ironclad combo of just 5 gun haulers and an ironclad and 6 with a 2-up save, and there's 6 guys on top of it. There's 6 Endgun Masters in it, and also you'd use the Arcanaut Triumph that we talked about before to give a +1 save. So now the ironclad's on like a 0 save with a 2-up ward save and heals 5d3 wounds a turn.
Yeah, and I think because if we're saying that the ironclad is going to go to a 2-up save, you could keep it at 6+, but make it a bodyguard because that's a little bit of a nerf by making it a bodyguard, but then make it go to a 5-up and it's still a bodyguard if there's two or more gun haulers next to the boat. Cool. Have we covered all the units?
Oh no, we've got a bit to go.
Yeah, we need to be quicker. Points. Are you happy with the points from
I'm mostly happy with the points.
Yeah, I mean, if we're getting some, I think the ironclad could go up if it's going to get 2+ save.
Yeah,
540, something like that.
It would definitely go up in points, like to Idenest Turtle standards. So at least 500 points.
I would be okay with the gun hauler and the frigate on their current points with those buffs. I think maybe the gun hauler could go to 160 or something. I don't know. Arcanauts, yeah. Everything else I think is probably the same. Brock, if he stays how he is, he's got to come down. But if they can make him useful, then I'm okay with him being.
We don't want Brock to be less points than an Endgun Master. Like,
no, he needs to be more but usable. Yeah, maybe give Brock a 2+ save. Make him like a durable.
He does have the fanciest, biggest armor out of everybody.
Yeah, maybe that's how you make him useful. He's just a bully piece. And he is actually just like, he's like 300 points, but he's just like, he's going to go in and wreck face.
Yeah. Just like a unit. 300 points though.
But he goes in and he's got like a ward, like you give him a 4-up ward and not a 2+ save. He couldn't have a 2+ save and a 4-up ward. But,
okay.
You'd have a ward or like 3+ save and a ward, but he can go in and he can actually like delete some stuff. Not like he can't go in and delete a Maw Crusher, but he can go in and delete stuff and survive.
Yeah. Brock is. We'll let Games Workshop deal with Brock, and then we'll just judge them for whatever they come up with.
Yes, because we haven't got the solutions.
No, okay. We're not smart enough.
Let's move on. We're not going to talk about new units. I don't think, because I don't think we're going to get any. We sort of mentioned heroes.
Well, a new unit.
No, but yeah, because we're talking about Warscrolls and
new boat, Dreadnought.
Dreadnought. Okay, come on.
We need a new boat. Okay. I mean, okay. Look, wish listing. We'll go. We want Arcanauts with boarding shields. We want Terminator like mecha suits with like for that the Leagues of Votan got. We're like a combat version and a big gun toting version.
Just give me Thunderers with circular saws and jackhammers and stuff, and a welder.
Yeah, or just take the Gene Stealer cults and the Thunderers and just go.
Yeah.
Yes, we want those and a gun hauler
and gyrocopters apparently,
and gyrocopters and gyro bombers in the KO book, and
gyro balloons.
A gunstock hero.
Yes,
but don't make that our only hero. Don't make that the whole release, please.
Yes.
And a new boat. Definitely need a new boat, and also on top of that, a Forge World boat, like a Titan-sized Forge World boat.
That's
that costs
1,000 points.
$1,000,
And the Gash style boat.
and you can never use it in a normal game. But it's there.
It's on the Dread
Yes.
Saurian
Give
side
me
base.
that, and I'll buy like 5 of them. Forge World.
Okay.
Except I'm not going to buy them from Forge World. I'll buy them from China because Forge World's dumb in Australia. But anyway.
Okay. Forge World is expensive everywhere. Okay. Enhancements. So artifacts. We're not going to get a spell wall. We're not going to get prayers. No.
But here's the hot take that some people might not like.
Spell in a bottle.
Spell in a bottle is going to go. You don't get spell in a bottle anymore.
I think
it's in like 90% of all lists in this faction.
I love the fact it opens up so many different options. Because
it does.
I think they want KO to be the Johnny book and have so many list building options. I think if you look at all the options it had, like I think that's what they want, and that's why, and that fits with the law of like interpreting the code and stuff. So it does open up a lot of options. If they remember what we said about Zilfin, if they got rid of that hero phase move, the spell in a bottle all of a sudden is less of a thing in KO.
You would, yeah. If they got rid of hero phase move, you'd look at only the longest range spells,
or the things that are offering utility and stuff.
The rat trap, like you get back the cogs probably, and the rat trap would go.
But also, spell in a bottle was very much there was forbidden power and the Necroquake, and there was all these endless spells running rampant, so we started bottling them. It's not a thing anymore. So maybe
if you take
away.
I feel like we've used up all of our spells.
Yeah, we bottled all the endless spells, and there's not enough endless spells out there.
We've broken all of our bottles. Like they've been used over this book. They've definitely been used.
Yeah. 99 bottles of spell on the wall. 99 bottles of spells.
Yeah. That's had a thought. The Tzeentch, if you take the Tzeentch one, that turns people into spawn. Do you actually get a spawn in your army?
Probably. Yeah, I suppose so.
KO with spawn. Take a Gargant. Now you've got destruction, chaos, and order in the same army.
How many artifacts are there in current books? Because KO have a lot.
Like a whole lot.
Like the newer books, they have a lot.
As in artifacts in the newer books. Yes. So Tzeentch kept all their artifacts, but Doc lost a lot of their artifacts. Like Doc only have like, oh no, they've got heaps. Hang on, no, they've got 3 that you use, but they've got like 12. No, you get lots of artifacts still.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll keep most of ours, I think.
Okay,
and
so
like a lot of books,
multiples.
Literally just copy paste artifacts from one book to another. I don't think a lot of them are going to change.
Mm-hmm. And within this, we need to talk about command traits and engine works potentially.
I just think the frigate needs good ones. Just a good one for the frigate.
Okay. What do you think they will replace spell in the bottle with? Because I think 3 per type of hero is kind of good.
I mean, if we're talking about, Earbuster, bring that thing back and make it no rally or inspiring presence within 12 inches or whatever.
Yeah.
And
or
that replaces spell in the bottle.
Or an artifact that lets him give his buff out while he's on a boat.
Yeah, that's what his Triumph does anyway, though. That's what his Triumph is for.
No, but it just lets him do it without spending gold all the time. I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah. There could
what else
be
are you spending a chemist gold for, though?
Something that's happening a lot in the lore at the moment is that weird red stuff that's not blood that
the Morothy stuff, the stuff Morothy, the change
and Bellacore
stuff.
And Varanite, is that it?
Varanite, I think. Yeah.
Maybe he could have some of that stuff because he's a chemist and he's doing something with that.
Yeah. Oof, that'd have some lore implications. Chaos KO, corrupted KO,
Oh no, he's just got it, and he's managed a way to stop it corrupting stuff. But
Yeah, but
then
you
he
know,
shoots
in
out
the
and it corrupts
lore,
them.
if the chemists start using it, like, okay, most of them don't get corrupted, but someone's gonna get corrupted, and now
Yeah,
you've got a
true.
corrupted chemist on, like, now you've got Chaos KO Skyport.
Okay. Maybe more now. Yeah. Okay.
They finally become fully evil.
Yeah. I mean, the ones for the navigator are good. The artifacts for the admiral. Most of our artifacts are really good. Like, there's a lot of good choice. The command traits, I think you could just cut them down to 3 per hero type because we've got 6 at the moment. There's a lot of duplication. Like, everyone can get Grudge Bearer and stuff, and it's just cut them down. We don't need that many command traits. Like, you can only have one general. Engine works, I think they will keep, and I hope they keep. I just think the frigate needs to have some better ones.
Yeah. But the current ones we got for the gun hauler, they're really cool.
I think we need less for the Ironclad. Because
probably.
I think
Give
they've...
it 3 per boat.
Yes, because at the moment you have, like, the Ironclad's one takes up loads of, like, 3/4 of a page, and then you have, or 2/3 of a page, then you have the frigate one, and then you have, like, the gun hauler ones, and then just loads of empty space on a page.
Yeah.
So 3 per boat will be good.
Keep the gun hauler ones, change the frigate ones, and the ironclad ones can be buoyancy aid, last word, and the ram.
Yeah. Maybe have a buoyancy aid for the frigate.
Yeah.
Should the frigate have a ram? Because the gun hauler's got a ram, or is it not
Give
very
it a little
flamey?
ram.
Or maybe a speed boost for the frigate.
It does have a +2 movement boat effect right now.
+2 is not much, so is it?
I know. Especially since
when you can teleport, +2 move is, I don't know.
Frigate artifact, you can get out of the frigate after you teleport. There, wish listing done. Now it's a transport boat. Now I'm taking a frigate. If it has something like that, you can give that to one frigate. Now I'm taking it because you can teleport over and then dump your 10 Thunderers out.
Because the gun hauler ones are all really good. Why are the frigate ones so bad?
Yeah. Frigates can. Yeah, there's my wish listing. That'll make me take a frigate. That would 100% make me take a frigate.
Frigates are the best looking boats as well, aren't they?
I know. They're the most KO looking thing. Ironclad's nice, but the frigate's like sleek. It's got those curves.
Yeah. It's the sports car.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas the gun hauler's like a hatchback.
And the frigates and the ironclad's like a Hummer. Yeah. It's the soccer mom's like shuttle bus.
Okay. Other than cutting down command traits, do you think we need to do anything else with command traits, or are you kind of happy with them? There are some cool ones.
Command traits, you mean enhancements? Command traits is next.
Yeah. Well, command traits are a type of enhancement, aren't they?
Right. Yes, they are.
I mean, so is also triumphs, but we talked about them earlier.
They're probably good. Do we keep collector? Collector's going to be very powerful if we don't have required command.
I think we could maybe keep it and change the wording so it's clearer.
Also, that yes. But no, it wouldn't need to be clearer because there are no you won't have to take an artifact first anymore.
Yeah,
but
it
also
just
it's going to be very powerful. You will every KO list will have an extra artifact. Like you wouldn't take anything else but collector. That would be the one.
Well, unless there's other command traits that are good,
or if there's no good artifacts.
Well, Cunning Fleet Master is good, and if you put that in Zilfin, because it's like a pre-game move, or you can put it in Mornar, so you have like 2 pre-game moves. Like Cunning Fleet Master is really good. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's talk about. Is this the last one?
No.
Oh, well, this one might not take too long.
Some of these will be. Then the next ones are going to be quick. All right,
heroic actions. I feel like we need some KO heroic actions.
Yeah,
Like
maybe.
how often do you go to do your heroic action? You're like, oh, I don't know. I guess I'll just get a CP I won't use.
Yeah, usually, or best day ever.
Yeah, but you can obviously do that once per hero. Obviously, if we get better command abilities on our heroes, we don't then using getting an extra CP is good.
Yeah.
But if you're saying that the chemist is maybe giving out like +1 to wound and stuff, then it's fun. Or like Fring is giving out +1 to hit, then there's even less reason to use CP. Heroic action, maybe we only need one, and it's just like that hero can give its gold to a unit.
Oh yeah, make a heroic action related to gold. Yeah.
Okay. Monstrous actions. We don't have monsters, but could we have boatress actions? Or what was it we come up with? Ship shenanigans or something? Sky vessel shenanigans is what we need.
But does that mean they get access to the generic ones as well? Like, can boats then stomp and
because they can't.
Like they already do. Like
drop
bombs are already dropping bombs is already stomp.
Yeah.
And then what? They can honk their horn and roar, I guess. Get a big foghorn.
I mean, you wouldn't have to make it that they can do the generic ones, but maybe some monstrous actions. It would be cool. The reason I put this in here is because everyone seems to be getting their own monstrous actions these days.
Only the armies with lots of monsters, like giants and ogres, get them.
Yeah.
But slaves of darkness don't get any.
I don't think we need them, but it would be kind of fun.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun to have a boat honk at people.
Yeah, or do something,
Monsters actually shoot your guns.
Yeah, maybe that's how they could stop the bombs from make the bombs better about them being massively overpowered, as you make the bombs a ship shenanigan.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to call it. And it's just like they drop a whole load of bombs, but it's like, I don't know. Okay, is that like all we need to talk about for that?
I think so.
We don't think it's going to happen, and maybe we might get one heroic action or something.
Yeah.
Okay, battalions.
They're going to be shit. Whatever it is, they're not going to be worth it.
Does anyone that's had a new book recently actually got any good battalions?
No.
The Sons of Behemoth, their battalions are good.
Oh yeah, that gives them an extra artifact. But that's because they literally can't fit in any of the normal battalions.
Yeah.
They needed their own version of get an artifact.
Yeah. I would like to see one with a load of... But, I mean, the ones we've got in the White Dwarf, I don't think anyone uses.
No. Wait, oh yeah, we did get ones in... Yeah, so they'll probably just... Yeah. They'll probably just get ported over from there.
Do you think they will tweak them in any way? Because they will see no one's using them.
No, I don't... Because they haven't tried to make any of them useful for the other books.
It's a waste of space. Like, they're slimming down stuff because people like taking out stuff people aren't using. Then they're just going to add in stuff that people aren't using.
Yeah, they seem to be doing that.
Like, why add in stuff we're not going to use? Like, if they're going to give us battalions, make them good. I don't know.
Would be good. We could use like a 1-drop with 2 ironclads in it.
Yeah.
That would be good. But that would be beyond I think what normal battalions are doing at the moment.
I mean, they obviously none of them really that armies have do anything other than like those generic abilities, like to let you use a command ability or. I mean, the ones who use a command ability that could be good for boats if they're not elite.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. They're going to be lackluster, I think.
Probably, yeah. I don't think the battalions are going to be a thing that people actually have to consider.
No, I mean, if we get like a 1-drop one or one that gives them, it would be nice if we get one that gives an an enhancement that has a load of boats in it, rather than a load of heroes. So you take like a couple of ironclads or something, because the theory is the ironclads have heroes on them anyway because they've got a navigator in it.
Yeah.
Ender Master. I don't know. Okay, but that's all anyone wants. Nobody wants any of the battalions to do any of the other business, do they? They just want extra artifacts and all one drop.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
the command point stuff is pretty much useless.
Okay.
Last
This
up.
is the last thing: grand strategies and battle tactics, and this is where it could get interesting because I really like battle tactics, and I know a lot of people just don't want them to be in the game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I haven't had any problems with battle tactics. Like, they get used in. I hear on the internet that there are lots of events that don't use battle tactics, but I've never been to one.
No. I think there's a lot of people that think events shouldn't use battle tactics.
Right.
But
Specifically, Warhammer Weekly does. Vince hates it.
yeah,
Um,
some people just don't know. I think the
we
trouble
need.
is people are wounded because there's too many armies that got given stupid battle tactics that are just too easy to do.
We need more than what we have in the White Dwarf because we only have 2. And some books right now coming out with like 5. Oh no, but that's like we have 3, but one of them is impossible.
One of them is rubbish. And one of them is too good at the moment, and one of them is fine now that they've done a load of FAQs and stuff. So they need to do.
Get people out of boats is fine.
Are you think getting in and out of boats is actually good enough, or is that okay?
They do need to word the other one to have, get units that are not in boats and put them on boats. And then the second one be, if you're in a boat, get them out of boat. But then there are so many battle tactics that are just so easy, like automatic, just take it.
Yeah. I would like, it might be cool to have one like, a bit like the thing where you had to run a load of units, but it's like, oh yeah, keep a load of boats together, so you have to have a lot of boats to do it.
Yeah.
So you're like flying around as a fleet, like maintain formation.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and it's like you need 5 boats to complete this battle tactic or something.
Cool.
maybe not 5, but 3 would be make it difficult. I don't know. Depends.
But grand strategies keep your ironclad alive.
Yeah.
Pride of keep the flagship in one. Pride of the fleet, keep the flagship in one piece.
Yeah, I don't like the one at the moment. Was like spend your gold and not have the whole. It should actually be like end the game and have all your gold left or something, or like, yeah, you shouldn't be trying to spend your gold. You should be keeping your gold. But having one share of gold left is not
very
right.
Easy.
So
you just keep it on a gun hauler and have the gun hauler just only exist at 24 inches away from the enemy, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe have it so like all the units that are currently alive still have their gold.
Yeah.
Or more than half the units alive have their gold.
Then that's also one of those. It disincentivizes you from using your core mechanic.
Yeah.
Which is not good. So like there's a Tzeentch one which is like have 27 summoning points left over at the end of the game, and like no one does that.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
There is one where you have to have your destiny dice, but people take that a lot because they're very easy to do, and that's yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think anything to do with numbers of boats is difficult because if you take some gun haulers, it's very easy to achieve. But if you take some ironclads, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
For a battle tactic, anyway. For grand strategy, maybe that's an interesting thing.
Have one ironclad remaining on the battlefield is a good grand strategy.
Mm-hmm. But maybe also there could be one like have 3 boats, 3 sky vessels alive at the end of the battle. Incentivizes you to have lots of boats.
Well, at that point, if you take that 14 gun hauler list and then you run that grand strat and go, I've got it.
Exactly.
Unless you wipe me.
Yeah, you want to incentivize people to do that. Take a load of boats.
Yeah. You do. Boats are the best part, which is why we need a new one. 4 boats, Games Workshop.
Yeah. Battle tactics, yeah, getting in of the boat, getting out of the boat. Also, I remember the thing I wanted to say in garrisoning, and the thing I said earlier wasn't the thing I was thinking of. It's this thing, which is if you make stuff too good inside a boat, like the units, there's
You're
no
never gonna get
incentive.
out.
There's no incentive to get out, and they are a model company first and foremost, so they need to give you reasons to buy the models because you don't. If all your units just spend the whole game in a boat, you don't need the models. Like if
Technically not.
no, you just be like, yeah, he's in the boat.
I've
Doesn't
totally
matter.
got a KO army. Just don't
Yeah,
look at it. It's in the
yeah.
boat. Trust
It's
me.
all inside. Yeah, it's all inside. I've got 2 ironclads and nothing else. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. So there needs to be incentive to get things out of the boats. Objectives are one of those incentives. But
Yeah. And then their abilities working better on the ground.
maybe you could have a grand strategy, complete that grand strategy if all of your units are garrisoned in a sky vessel at the end of the battle.
Oh yeah.
Because no, maybe not all of your marine units are
Like
garrisoned.
extract the fleet.
Yeah,
All
so
your
because it's
marine.
like the battle's finished and you're ready to leave, go back to the Skyport and claim your
Yeah.
profits. That'd be quite
Yeah,
cool.
that'd be a fluffy one.
Mm-hmm. Battle tactics, we need to get rid of the destroyer thing with a bomb.
Destroy a unit with bombs. When are you ever going to
we're
destroy a
making
unit with
bombs,
wounds?
if we're making bombs, like every time you move, you drop bombs.
Then
That
yeah,
can be
you
quite
could
good.
actually gun for it, but
Yeah. Or I reckon if every ship does mortal wounds on the charge somehow, then you could like destroy a unit by charging it with boats. That'd be
yeah,
cool. That'd be very fun.
it would. Some way to get combat KO.
Yeah, and that incentivizes us to get into combat, which is cool. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't really have any more ideas for this. I think so. I think we covered everything. Is there anything we haven't talked about?
Speculated. It's just when are we gonna come out? Is it early? Are we coming out? Yeah, in spring or summer
Or after?
never?
That won't be never, but
I'm hoping it's the summer release because that would give us a nice, maybe we won't get a firmware box, maybe we get a bit more attention and get, a big model, maybe a boat. Who knows? That's what I'm hoping for in summer.
Okay, realistically, the Seraphon book is older than ours.
Yeah, and it needs more models. It needs more models to be updated.
But then that could mean it needs a big release. So it might mean they'll wait. Like they did, but they just a random Croak at one point, didn't they? Just randomly, here's Croak.
Yeah, but they've got a lot of old Finecast models that are really bad and need updates. So yeah, I can see Seraphon being released in the last and us being like a firmware box with Feck or something.
They've been practicing a lot of sculpts for chameleon skinks and all sorts of things with war bands and stuff, haven't they?
Yeah.
So, but does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean that they're likely to be their summer release because they are going to be a big release rather than a FOMO box? Because Cities of Sigmar is not going to be a FOMO box, is it? You'd need to have like 4 different FOMO boxes.
Oh yeah, no. Cities is going to be like a Slaves of Darkness style army box for sure.
But even
that's
then,
going to be its own big thing.
No, even then, it would have to be like, remember when they released Cities of Sigmar and it's like, here's a Grey Water Fastness box, here's a Tempest Eye box, is it going to be that? Or isn't
look, Cities is going to be a whole different level of speculation. Are they going to get rid of all the old models? Are we getting a whole new model range or just
But the point is it's got to be a big release for Cities, hasn't it? Which means that Cities, if it's going to come as either the summer or afterwards in like autumn or
it's going to get its own thing.
It's Cities is not coming in here. The question is Seraphon, and they're just getting a minor update. They're not getting any new models, maybe a new hero.
Is that summer book Cities or is it Seraphon? I think so realistically we're probably going to come in spring, which is cool.
Do you don't think this one could be Seraphon?
Nah, they're probably gonna get their own bigger model release.
Are they? The question is, are they
But
making a
hey,
load? Have they been
that
making a load of Seraphon stuff recently,
that being
or are
first
they
means Order is the
testing the
first thing out
waters?
in spring.
Yeah,
So we're the first book out.
I think this could be Seraphon. I think it could be. I don't, because I think they're testing the waters, and that's what with Seraphon models, and that's why they're releasing them as warbands and stuff.
Yeah. But then that won't give them enough, that won't give them a big window to bring out a whole bunch of models for Seraphon.
No, that's what I mean. They're still testing the waters with them, and they
Okay.
don't know what they want to direction they want to go with them because there's too much choice at the moment. So they're just going to be a placeholder book
But
until they get their bigger release in 4th edition.
so the lore in Warcry at the moment is like there's this big crashed Seraphon spaceship and everyone's fighting over it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would make sense for Seraphon to have a bigger release.
Mm. So we're saying we're definitely not the summer release, and it's
Probably
a
not summer
50-50.
release.
It's basically 50-50 whether we're this one, because Seraphon are either getting a placeholder book or we're getting a book. And
Yeah. So we'll be the first book out in spring, autumn. Yep.
50-50 chance. That's what we think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think cities might actually be. I think cities isn't in here. I think cities is going to take a little while still.
Could be. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I think that's everything, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
I should wrap up.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much, Con. Thanks to everyone that was watching
Stuck with us so far.
Yeah, got involved in the chat, particularly Alexander Hernandez, who was pretty much at some points the whole chat. Very well done to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope people enjoyed the show. If you did, please hit like. Please subscribe for future KO and Age of Sigmar content. And remember, if you want to get Aethercast dice, you can go check them out on Ko-Fi.
They are
there are
nice.
some left. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.